Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 4 of the league stage for the KakiBola National Championship. We're halfway through the league stages now. It's getting really exciting. We're going to go into our Group A match that is between Admiral Access of Negeri Sembilan and XGZ of Kuala Lumpur. I'm Evil Sword, and with me is the Singaporean legend himself, the FIFA online player, VBD from Singapore. How are you doing, Mr. HBD?
I'm always good. How are you doing, Mr. Sword?
I'm doing pretty fantastic myself. You know, yesterday there was this really fantastic announcement on the website that I've been looking forward for so long. It is the new Impact engine. It's going to replace the current engine that we have here for FIFA Online 3 coming in, I think, March 2016. So not that long to go. What are your thoughts on this new Impact engine?
It has been a long time coming and it has changed for the better, because this FIFA 11 engine, it is from a very old age. So we are finally moving into proper FIFA I expect a lot of nice skill moves to come out.
That's
Very
right.
dynamic gameplay, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
That's right. For those of you who are not so sure what this Impact engine is, basically it's the new engine used by all FIFA games by EA Sports ever since FIFA 12. So even the current one, FIFA 16, they are using the Impact engine, of course, and we are very excited to see that. But of course, for today, we have this the KakiBola National Championships, to get ahead on. And for the first match, as we mentioned beforehand, it's Admiral Access of Negeri Sembilan against XGZ of Kuala Lumpur. After that, at 2 p.m, we will have Kaizoku representing Negeri Sembilan again, and Hanzo, one of the best FIFA Online 3 players representing Kuala Lumpur. That's match number 2 for Group B. For Group C, the match will be on at 3 p.m. That's Perlis Team Junior representing Perlis, of course, versus a little bit weird here, but it's Ultras Kedah representing Pulau Pinang or Penang. Yeah, that's at 3 p.m. And at 4 o'clock, the last match of the day for Group D. It's Old again, the Malaysian legend for FIFA Online 3. Representing Kuala Lumpur, his opponent for today will be BP Storia representing Pahang. But for now, it's the 1 p.m. match. It's the first match of the day. Admiral Access for Negeri Sembilan versus Kuala Lumpur's XGZ. Both players are ready. They're inside the lobby. Let's go right into the game, Mr. Hibidi here. It is Admiral Access to be playing on the home side, on the left side of the screen. And his opponent XGZ will be on the right side. Let's take a look at the lineups for these two players. Starting with Admiral Access here. Starting off with a 4-1-1-4 formation. It's better check in goal. SCN partnering Ferdinand at the moment here. Cambiaso left back, Xabi Alonso right back. I'm pretty sure there will be changes in personnel for the defensive four here. Paul Pogba, the defensive midfielder. Up front is Steven Gerrard, and the four strikers, Ronaldo on the left, Drogba partnering Ibrahimovic in the middle, Lionel Messi on the right hand side. As I mentioned here, there are a few changes in the back four. Hibidi, your analysis on this formation here.
I think it's a pretty solid formation. This is the R5 formation that really came to the fore after the Vietnam SEA Invitational, because R5 just swept everyone. And this 4-1-1-4 has really caught on in our server, because it gives you good balance in attack, and the transition to attack is just phenomenal. So it has become really popular.
Yeah, it is one of the more popular formations here. Just a piece of information here. Admiral Access currently is in 3rd place in the group stages, while his opponent XGZ of Kuala Lumpur on screen right now here is currently in 4th place. Of course, the grand finals of the KakiBola National Championships only allows the top ranked player of the group to proceed to the top 4 final stages. So both of them really need to get the first win, because, well, they've not been winning the matches at all currently. They're having 1 loss to the record at the moment here. And taking a look at the formations by XGZ, looks to be a 4-2-1-3, another popular formation in the FIFA Online 3 world. Is Manuel Neuer in goal, Jose Bozingua on the left back position with Maicon on the opposite flank, Rio Ferdinand partners Pepe in the middle of the back four, Michael Essien with Esteban Cambiaso as the 2 central defensive midfielders, with Ronaldinho as the attacking midfielder, supporting the 3 strikers of Gareth Bale on the right, Cristiano Ronaldo on the left, and Fernando Torres up front. 4-1-1-4 against 4-2-1-3, Hibidi.
Yeah, I mean, K2G2, he's just looking to be more solid in midfield and defense. He's going with 2 holding mids. Whether that will stop the 4-1-1-4, still to be seen, because it is a very potent formation. But, he's got good personnel. Essien and Cambiaso, they really break up the play. And to link it all up, you have Ronaldinho in the middle, personally one of my favorites. So it will be fun to see how they match up.
Yeah, that's right, guys. Remember, this is the KakiBola National Championships, round 4 of the league stage here. Admiral Access on the left-hand side of the screen. Playing in the Derby County uniform here, with his opponent XGZ playing in the right-hand side of the screen as the away yellow-kitted Chelsea player here. And of course, we're all here trying to find out the best player from both Singapore and Malaysia, with a total prize pool of close to 20,000 Malaysian ringgit. It's a lot of money up for grabs. This is still, of course, the qualifying rounds. Admiral Access currently 3rd in his group, with XGZ 4th place right now, as the game is about to begin, underway very soon. Remember, guys, it's Admiral Access representing Negeri Sembilan in the white and black of Derby County, playing from left to right, and his opponent XGZ from Kuala Lumpur playing in the yellow away Chelsea kit. He will be playing from right to left. Kickoff right now here for the first game of this best of 3 between Admiral Access as well as XGZ. Admiral Access playing on the left hand flank here with Steven Gerrard laying it forward. Didier Drogba trying to find Ibrahimovic. Well tackled by the centre back there. And Ibrahimovic trying to get the ball back, but it's a fairly bad tackle by the Swedish international. And it's a free kick for XGZ. Taken long, only towards the path of Admiral Access again as Cristiano Ronaldo makes a run, a rampaging run on the left hand flank. Can he get a one good cross in? Tries to cut inside. Well defended by Maicon, the right back for XGZ. Corner kick on the left hand side to be taken by Lionel Messi. Plenty of place in the middle there. Goes deep, finds nobody, rebounds to Cristiano Ronaldo, lays it off left side. Esteban Cambiaso gets past one defender. Can he get past the second here? Ronaldo loses the ball. Here comes a counter attack by XGZ on the right hand side with Gareth Bale. Look at the amount of yellow shirted players here for XGZ, but the final pass by Ronaldinho fairly poor here. In the first 10 minutes, 65% of the possession has been on the white shirted player, Admiral Access for Negri Sembilan.
Yeah, I think XGZ has been a bit stiff. He's been a bit slow. It seems like he's stuck in the mud almost. You know, he's passing the ball a bit too slowly. Access has been controlling the play. You know, right off the bat, it's 20 minutes so far, and he's seen most of the ball. Getting a lot of joy down this left-hand side of Ronaldo.
Yeah, especially on the left-hand side, and he has drawn a foul here, Admiral Access from XGZ. Steven Gerrard on the ball here. Can he whip in a good cross? But it is, looks like it's oh, he goes for a shot directly, and I thought you know, he was going to get a short pass to Cristiano Ronaldo. He was blocking the way there.
And then this player was just running right in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. But he still manages to get a shot off directly to the keeper, however. And it's counter attack right now by XGZ. It's 2-on-1 here. Oh, 1-on-1 for Cristiano Ronaldo. And he's with his first attempt of the game. He scores. Easy tap in Ronaldo. 1-0 to XGZ, representing Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, I thought it was slightly slack defending by Access there, not tracking the runner early, and Ronaldo just got an easy tap in. So it's 1-0, probably against the runner play, but well deserved.
Exactly, man. You know, it doesn't matter how much possession you have in football. It's how clinical you are in front of goal that matters here. And Admiral Access, for all his build-up play, have nothing to show on here. Let's see if he can get a goal from here to equalize the play. Passes back, Steven Gerrard looking for a long-range shot. No, passes to Drogba. Still did a Drogba. Fantastic dribbling there by the Ivory Coast International, the Chelsea legend. Brings it back to 1-0 for Admiral Access.
Fantastic footwork in the box from Drogba. You know, getting in a tight spot, surrounded by 3, but did a simple drag dribble and got away from everyone and slotted it in.
Absolutely marvelous play here. 1-1 the score right now. And we're only in the 32nd minute of the match. This is a best of 3 match. There's still plenty of gameplay to go. Here comes another attack here by XGZ. Can he make it 2-1 here? Still, Ronaldinho finding so much space in the middle. Finally being cut out by a defender by Admiral Access. And it's now his turn to counter attack. On the left-hand side, Esteban Cambiaso passes it forward to Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo has had so much space on the left-hand side all game long, but not going to go down the flank this time. Ibrahimovic lays it right side to Lionel Messi, who finds his path blocked. Back to Ibrahimovic. We'll go for a snapshot. Back to Ibrahimovic. Fantastic 1-2 play there. Brings the score to 2-1 in favor of Admiral Access for Negeri Sembilan.
Yeah, he's had a poor start, but he has really clicked in a gear these past few minutes with brilliant work in and around the box, and so much composure with the 1-2 to get out of a tight spot. Well played by Access.
It's been end-to-end stuff right now here. We might even see a second equalizer here. Is that a foul in the penalty box? Nothing happening by the referee. However, the ball is still in the possession of XGZ. Can Admiral Access get it out? No, he does not clear the ball quickly enough here. Here's Gareth Bale, the dipping cross in, looking for, I believe that was Cristiano Ronaldo in the middle. Only 2 minutes of extra time, added time, and that is over for the first half of this first match of the day. What a match we're having so far here. 62% possession for Admiral Access against XGZ here, but it could have gone either way. XGZ have had only 1-2 chances, but he took that chance immediately as it presented himself.
It could have, you know, Access has done really well mentally. You know, he conceded the first goal, didn't really get affected by it. He continued playing how he wanted to play and scored 2 brilliant goals. I'm very impressed by what I've seen so far.
Yeah, all the goals actually have been brilliant by both of these players. Admiral Access, you know, for Negeri Sembilan, currently he is placed 3rd in the group, and his opponent XGZ is last place at 4th for Group A. at this round here, round 4 of the KakiBola National Championships. And looks like we have begun the second half of this first match. It's only the first match. We still have possibly another 2 more here. It's Admiral Access with the lead, with the ball right now on the attack as the white-shirted player of Derby County. He lays it back here. Sergio Ramos, the right back, getting into the fray, but well tackled there by Pepe, the centre-back for XGZ. And he builds another attack on the left-hand side. But Lionel Messi with a fantastic tackle on the right wing here. Zlatan Ibrahimovic cuts it inside the middle, tries to feed Didier Drogba. Not happening there. Great interception by XGZ.
Yeah, Messi just had a chance to make it 3-1 just now. Just overplayed it, dwelled on the ball a bit too long and the chance was lost. But he's still controlling the play, controlling possession, passing it with slickness across the pitch. So if he keeps this up, we're going to have a quick and easy win for him in this round.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, in terms of possession, Admiral Access is definitely dominating the possession rates right now here, but that's a fantastic build-up play right now being shown by XGZ. The passing has been crisp and accurate on the left-hand flank right now. Jose Bazingwa, the left back, passing it into the middle. Michael Essien, who does he look out for? There's players in the middle available. Fernando Torres was winding up for the shot, but not quick enough, and the tackle comes in by Admiral Access. He launches a counter-attack. Maybe can even get the third goal. Well defended by XGZ as he builds up again, but he loses the ball. The back four cannot afford to lose the ball, especially when they're a goal down here. Steven Gerrard cuts it inside with that beautiful cross onto the far end of the box here. Lionel Messi, patient play by Messi there on the left hand side right now. Sorry, the right hand side. Back to Sergio Ramos. Many defenders, not enough strikers there. Didier Drogba surrounded by 3 defenders, no less than 3. And right now, XGZ is a 3-on-3 situation here. Gareth Bale on the counter-attack. He has the speed, he has the passing accuracy. Fernando Torres cuts inside. Was that a correct decision? Looks like it wasn't. Again, end-to-end stuff in the first half and again in the second half. Non-stop action from both of these 2 players. We're coming into the end of the match here. Coming into the last 10 minutes, and still it is Admiral Access with the lead. However, he does not have the ball right now. XGZ on the attack on the left-hand side, but wasted opportunity yet again. It looks like he's not been having much success in the passing department.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel that he has a lack of options up front with this formation. He has 3 forwards. Ronaldinho in the number 10 position. He isn't catching up to the play fast enough on the counter, so that is his problem right now. I feel maybe if he doesn't get any more joy out of this game, he should consider making a formation switch for game 2.
Yeah, I mean on a defensive viewpoint, he's been doing pretty well. Oh, here's a tap in here. But not powerful enough, that shot. The ball just wiggled away from Ronaldinho's control, and because of that, he's not able to get a powerful enough shot in. I did mention earlier on that, XGZ's defending has been actually pretty robust other than 2 goals. Here's an opportunity, and Cristiano Ronaldo sneaks one underneath the goalkeeper to get that late equalizer on the 90th minute mark. It's 2-2 right now for both of these 2 players.
Yeah, in the past couple minutes, he's just been involving Ronaldinho in the build-up a lot more. We saw that in the previous chance, which he just missed. So this is his blueprint for success against Access. He needs to keep working at this.
Yeah, and for all the lack of incisiveness for XGZ, that one moment at the 90th minute of the game probably saved XGZ from some early difficulties here. We will still continue with game 1. Of course, we will go into extra time. We need to find a winner for all of these matches in the best of 3 format. And at the moment, Admiral Access, he had the lead for Lions' share of the match here, but not able to defend when it matters, when he needed to close the game down, when he needed to make sure that no goals are considered. He concedes one in the very dying minutes with this shot right there.
Absolutely,
by Cristiano Ronaldo.
He knows his formation is weak defensively because he only has 1 center defensive mid. So, probably a bit naive from Access to keep going at it and not change his formation. So he was punished, and, XGZ has started to play well. He could get more joy going forward.
Yep, that's right. And here we go into extra time of this first match here with Admiral Access on the ball. Remember, he is playing as a home side in the white and black of Derby County, playing from left to right. He has the ball right now here. Admiral Access representing Negeri Sembilan. Going forward, right, Zlatan Ibrahimovic gets past 1 defender. Drogba in the middle of the box there. Well tackled yet again. Pepe, the centre-back for XGZ, performing brilliantly in his defensive duties, but he concedes a corner kick here. XGZ playing in the yellow away Chelsea kid representing Kuala Lumpur. He's playing from right to left. He has a corner kick to defend here. Looks to be taken by Cristiano Ronaldo. Scratch that. It's actually Lionel Messi who's going to take it. The previous corner kick was rather poor. Let's see if he can make anything better from here. What a wonderful header that was. Rio Ferdinand for Admiral Access. He gets his much sought after lead. 3-2 for the Negeri Sembilan representative.
Yeah, quite a rare goal, to be honest, from a corner. It's not that OP in this engine as it will be in the Impact
And the new
update.
Impact engine, yeah.
Yeah, so, you know, XGZ will probably feel a bit hard done by this, but, you know, that's just football.
That is football indeed, and yet again Admiral Access has a lead for the third time in the game, unless he squanders this yet again, because XGZ is on the rampage right now on the left hand flank. Brilliant passing, brilliant shooting. What a play here by XGZ for Kuala Lumpur. Equalizes yet again for the third time in this game. 3-all for both of these two players.
Whenever you think he's going to be put away, he just keeps coming up with the goods time and time and time again, and he's showing great character here to keep himself in the fight.
Absolutely, you know, 3 times XGZ has, you know, like found himself down by a goal, and all 3 times he manages to find himself, you know, in a good position, considering the fact that Admiral Access have had the, you know, a dominant share of the possession. But still, possession doesn't really mean anything in football. You know, you can say all you want about the Barcelonas and the Bayern Munichs we have in a modern game of football, but again, if like what we mentioned earlier on, if you do not, you know, if you do not finish your chances, you know, you will be caught begging, and Admiral Access has been caught begging so far this game.
Yeah, XGC has just been very efficient with possession. Both players have had 4 shots on target each, and it's 3-3. 75% finishing rate. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, considering we're at the tail end of this engine, they are still working at it, and they have found the right kings to give them good success.
Yeah, that's right. You know, what a way to start the day right now. We have a total of 4 matches today, and Admiral Access against XGZ has, you know, is lining up to be one of the better matches that we've had in this tournament so far.
I mean, they have not disappointed. These are probably not as big names as what we're going to get later on in the day with Ode and Hanzo and Perlis.
Yeah.
Those are the power, you know, the powerhouses in Malaysian FIFA. But these guys, they are putting on a clinic for
Exactly.
finishing.
You know, you don't really have to be the #1 player in Malaysia or Singapore in order to get a good match. And we have a free kick here, fantastically taken there by XGZ. He gets the lead here. Gareth Bale off his left foot. 4-3 right now in favor of the Kuala Lumpur representative.
Yeah, wonderful free kick. Didn't give Access any time to put a player on the line. That is what you want. You want quick and sharp and dipping, and that's what he got, and that's why he has the lead right now.
Exactly. You know, and for those viewers here who, you know, who saw what Admiral Access was trying to do, sorry, what XGZ was trying to do, he was trying to switch around the free kick taker so that, you know, the defensive structure for Admiral Access will have to reset. There is nobody on the line to defend against that, and XGZ has performed that drill brilliantly, and he has taken the lead in this match here. Not much time remaining. Can Admiral Access get an equalizer that he so desperately needs? But he needs the ball. He has the ball here right now. Didier Drogba, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Is that a foul? Passes back. Dangerous play there, but the goalkeeper, Didier Drogba, gets a tackle in, but he bounces off his leg for only a goal kick. Very, very dangerous play by XGZ.
A bit of nerves there, I bet, you know, with the final whistle so close. But he got away with it, and
yeah, oh, he might even get a 5th goal here. Here comes XGZ, but the cut inside was unsuccessful. A defender was in the way. Is there enough time? Not enough time, however, for Admiral Access to get a comeback here. That must be really frustrating for Admiral Access. He has had 57% of the possession. He led, you know, the game 2 to 3 times, and he still lost at the end.
yeah, I think he must be absolutely gutted right now, because I thought he was the better player in the first half. In the second half, you know, XGZ just said no more of this. I'm going to be clinical. I'm not going to care if you have the ball. I'm going to put my chances away, and that is what happened.
That is, yeah, you know, that is fantastic fortitude, mental fortitude shown here by XGZ. He is, of course, representing Kuala Lumpur. Currently, XGZ is at the bottom of the table due to his loss in the previous round against Adzi, who is the leader of Group A right now. But he's showing, you know, pretty good stuff here, even though he was very much, you know, behind in terms of gameplay compared to Admiral Access success on the pitch.
Yeah,
but what matters is the final score.
Absolutely. Based on what we've seen today, he can play, so he will be disappointed that he lost the first game in the group, since only the top player is going to qualify. But, you know, he has half of this BO3 left, possibly, and one more game to come. So if results go his way, we could see a really strong play in the next round.
Yep, that's right. After all, we are playing a best of 3 rounds here. It's not game over yet for ML Access, of course. He can still win the matchup if, you know, he wins the next 2 games in succession. But XGZ, with the 1-0 lead in terms of games played, he only needs to win this second match on the best of 3 in order to secure the 3 points in the group stage. You know, we are playing the KakiBola National Championships League stage right now. This is round 4, and this is a Group A match between the 3rd place player in Group A, Admiral Access, representing Negeri Sembilan, who is playing on the left-hand side, as the home side, I mean, against his opponent XGZ, representing Kuala Lumpur, who has the 1-0 advantage courtesy of that 4-3 thriller match that we just saw earlier on. Let's take a look at the lineups here for Admiral Access. No, doesn't seem to have any changes whatsoever in terms of formation. Still sticking with the 4-1-1-4 over here. You know, judging from what you saw from the previous match, XZ also doesn't seem to have any changes. Do you think that it is absolutely necessary for either one of these 2 players to change formation or to change a game start?
I thought in the first half when XGZ was trailing, you know, he should have mixed it up, but he just started playing really well, played to his formation strengths, involved Ronaldinho in the build-up play, and he got a lot of joy from doing that. Access, I think he has the better formation based on what I've seen so far, but he needs to play with more freedom. He's passing the ball too slow, he's too stiff, and now he's the one who looks like he is stuck in the mud. Not XGZ.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, like, you know, like you mentioned before, Hibidi, you know, the first half have been Admiral Access all the way. You know, in fact, he was actually leading 2 goals to 1 in by the end of the first half, only to, you know, capitulate in the second half, you know, conceding 2 goals, especially conceding that second goal in the last minute of the match, in the 90th minute. Had he defended well in that last few minutes, maybe adding a 5th defender perhaps, or even a 2nd central defensive midfielder, you know, he could have gotten away with the win.
But yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you stick to your philosophy, you know. If you want to keep playing the same way, you have to execute it well. I mean, he gave the ball away and got punished. That's just what happens.
Yep, that's right. And well, we'll see whether Admiral Access can atone for his mistakes made in the first match here as he tries to go for a win. But so does his opponent XGZ. He has the lead here against the run of play, against all expectations. He managed to win the first game 4 goals to 3 after extra time. But we have the second match here underway. That is between Admiral Access representing Negeri Sembilan. He is playing from left to right in the white and black of Derby County. His opponent with a 1-game lead right now is XGZ representing Kuala Lumpur. He's on the defense right now, playing from right to left in the away Chelsea kit. But Admiral Access is slaloming his way through into the goal area. But the shot rather weak, and Petacek saves that shot pretty easily, and a quick
got a bit
counter
unlucky there. The defender just got a touch on him, put him off his stride, and Petacek was on hand to sweep up the mess.
Fantastic defense there, but right now XGZ trying to got inside the end of the box, but unable to do so. Well stopped there by the defenders for Admiral Access. Just recycling play around the back 4 here, switching play from left to right. Lucas Podolski deployed as a right forward here. Passes the ball. Is Steven Gerrard looking for Ronaldinho as a left winger. Cuts back inside. Steven Gerrard winding up for a shot. Maybe no. Passes the ball immediately onto the feet of a yellow-shirted defender. And XGZ, another quick counter-attack. This time on the left-hand side. Fernando Torres tries to find players. He finds one in the form of Paul Pogba, who has his forward run blocked here. He had to go back, but here comes Paul Pogba down the middle. Ronaldinho, the center attacking midfielder, goes on his own, tries to feed the left side to Fernando Torres. Bad choice, however, well intercepted by Admiral Access. Goes for his own counter attack here. Right flank is Lucas Podolski, finding lots of space. Paul Pogba, the right back, decides to join the fray. Nice layoff there for Fernando Torres, but Steven Gerrard overran the ball there, and well defended again by XGZ. Really good defending by both these 2 teams, actually.
Really good defending by both teams, but I feel they're playing with the handbrake on in a sense. Both of them are slightly nervous. They know what's at stake. This is game 2. One mistake could just take it to a 3rd game for one player and send another player home. So they're playing a bit slower, a bit more calculated at the moment, and that's why it's been goalless so far compared to the first game.
Yeah, exactly. But still, the action is, like coming fast and furious in this one here. It's just that there's a lot of good build-up play, but it's a huge midfield scuffle between both of them here. The moment either of them reaches the final third, a defender will always be well positioned to make the interception or the tackle there. We saw here yet again another great tackle by Admiral Access. We're coming into the 40th minute of the game, and both teams don't really seem to have a clear shot on goal at the moment. Here comes Steven Gerrard on the right-hand flank, pretty much unimpeded. His cross, however, just smacks against the head of a defender.
I think both players are defending a lot better this game. First game they probably weren't warmed up yet. A lot of mistakes. That's why we saw a lot of goals. You could say the attacking was a bit more fluid in the first game, but right now it's just been bogged down in midfield, and technically it's great to watch, but it may not be as entertaining as what we got in the first game.
No, definitely not as entertaining, because we've had 0 goals right now so far. We're coming into the end of the first half. Maybe one last attempt here, but not that. That does not come to fruition at all. This match, the half so far for this second match, first half ends in a stalemate, a 0-0 stalemate right now between these two teams. Hibidi is exactly like what you mentioned. Both of the players seem to be playing pretty cautiously, not really going all out at the moment.
Yeah, from a neutral point of view, obviously we want to see goals, but these players, they want to keep it tight in midfield and defense. So 0-0 at halftime isn't exactly a bad situation for either player. They can take their time. Like what XGZ is doing is making some changes. Probably we may see a personnel switch. We don't know what's going on, but we'll find out now. We hope that the play will be more fluid. But right now, I don't think either player will be too upset about what's going on.
At least you can see a marked improvement in terms of defending, not just for one, but for both of these two players here. Both Admiral Access and XGZ, in my opinion, have had horrible times defending in the first match there. Led to fantastic goals, of course, but the defending has been shambolic, and right now the defending has been much, much better. Like I mentioned before, the moment, when either one of the two teams managed to go into the final third, they seem to have their path blocked by a defender there. As we start off the second half of this second match here, it's XGZ in possession, conceding a corner kick. However, he's playing from left to right in the yellow kit of Chelsea, and his opponent Admiral Access chasing the win. He has a deep corner kick inside, yet another beautifully floated corner, resulting in a goal for Admiral Access. 1-0, and finally the stalemate is broken in favor of the Negeri Sembilan player.
Well, I guess in a match like this, you want to be clinical from set pieces, and that's what Access has done, and fair play to him. We didn't know where the goals were going to come from. I guess we know now, set pieces, because they just haven't been good going forward this game.
Exactly. Looks like the floodgates have been breached right now. Admiral Access with the first goal of this game. It's the second game in this best of 3. He has the lead so far here in the 56th minute of the game. Can he extend that lead? Goes for a long range shot, however, directly into the palms of Petacek.
Seems to be playing with a lot more confidence now
goodness.
after the goal. And in contrast, XGZ is playing with a bit of fear, giving the ball away, making silly mistakes. But Access just has to keep up this tempo right now. He has to play it fast and put the pressure on XGZ.
In a way, XGZ can kind of afford to play this way, because he has the game advantage after winning game number 1 4-3 right now. But of course, he would want to go for the kill in game number 2, but it looks like Admiral Access is playing for his life right now here. He has the 1-0 lead, but he has to keep the ball much better, and he just concedes a throw-in carelessly, needlessly on the right-hand flank.
Yeah, he will remember how he conceded very late on, so he has to stop making naive mistakes like what he just did. If he wants to take this to a third game, he has to play a solid game. He can't play a childish game. He needs to look after possession and not give the ball away silly. He needs to hang on to possession in a smart way in his own half.
Yep, that's right. And he has possession right now here in the middle. Passing it beautifully down the middle is Steven Gerrard. Right now joining the attack is Paul Pogba, the right back here. Not many defenders actually for XGZ, but he does defend pretty well at that instance. Is Jose Bozingua launching it forward here. 75th minute of the game. With 3 quarters into match number 2. So game number 2 here between Admiral Access and XGZ. With Admiral Access, the representative from Negeri Sembilan, having 1 goal lead against his opponent XGZ from Kuala Lumpur. But XGZ has the game lead, and that's important here. 80th minute into the game, and Admiral Access still has the ball. XGZ needs the ball at all costs if he is to stay in this match.
This is what Access needs to do. He needs to frustrate his opponent, pass the ball around, and when there's an opening, take it like what he's doing right now.
Yep, the great pass there. Oh, it should have been 2-0 there. Fernando Torres shoots the ball directly, a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. He has a second chance here. Here's Fernando Torres. Can he make amends? It's Steven Gerrard trying to dribble past a defender, but that defender is Mats Hummels, who's been performing pretty fantastically in this match here. Paul Pogba opens space on the right-hand flank. Intelligent passing to, to play conservatively MLS. So here he goes again. Ibrahimovic, fantastic. Another brilliant save by Petacek, the goalkeeper for XGZ, as MLS inches closer and closer to his second goal of the game.
Yeah, great play by him, patient build up, and then just flicking the switch at the right moment, taking the ball into the box. And right now he has a corner. All he has to do is take it short, kill the clock, and we're gonna go to game 3.
It looks like he's going long. However, Lucas Podolski winds up. He launches one long one onto the head of Rio Ferdinand. Is unable to get the second goal, but it doesn't matter. One goal is enough for this match here as ML Access claws his way back and forces a third game in this best of 3 against his opponent XGZ from Kuala Lumpur. XGZ, of course, winning the first match 4-3 after extra time. ML Access, as you just saw, representing Negeri Sembilan, he manages to get a 1-0 win, a very hard-fought 1-0 win against XGZ as we wait for the replays to end and begin the final tie-breaking game. Game number 3 between these two fantastic young players.
Hard-fought game, yeah, but Access really controlled this game. You see he had 5 shots against none from XGZ, so he's playing a lot better. And, he's going to hope that he plays with the same kind of freedom in game 3 and, picks up the win.
Yeah, it's a much more cagey match there, the second match of the game here. The second game of the match. But at least we see, there's a huge improvement in terms of defending. Not just for ML Access, who managed to get his first clean sheet of the day, but as well for XGZ. Granted that he did, concede that goal, but that was off a corner kick. And sometimes when, your opponent pulls off stuff like that, it's kind of difficult to defend stuff like that.
Yeah, to be honest, I mentioned 5 shots, but up to the point where he conceded, he was playing really well. He was keeping Access at bay with the 4-1-1-4. So I don't think he has any reason to change his formation. Maybe if he, he may switch it up if he, if he wants to really take the game to Access, because it's been very passive so far. I wouldn't be surprised if he changed his formation for this one, but at the same time, he may want to stick to plan A for the first half and see how it goes.
Even in the first match where he uses this exact same formation 4-1-1-4 and carries on to concede 4 goals in 120 minutes of in-game play time, in terms of attack, he's been doing pretty well. It's just that he needed to shore up his defending, and he has done so, in a really good manner in the second game. So I think that's why he's pretty content with sticking to this tried and trusted 4-1-1-4 formation. On the other hand, XGZ, sees that. I think he realizes he has had 0 shots on target, let alone any attacking movement whatsoever, and I think that's the catalyst of the change here. It is a 4-1-5. Technically it's a 4-1-1-4 because Cristiano Ronaldo is declared as a right attacking midfielder, but in all intents and purposes it is a 4-1-5 formation by XGZ. I personally have not seen anything like this in my career as casting FIFA Online 3.
I mean, he probably wants to go back to front a lot quicker. He knows he's been bogged down in midfield, probably wants to cut out going through the middle with his slow passing. He probably needs to take the game to Access. So I am okay with this move, but he needs to execute.
Yeah, and it looks like, both players are ready here for the final tie-breaking match in this best of 3 between Admiral Access, representing Negeri Sembilan on the left side of the screen, plays the home team here. A change in formation, a change in uniform color, perhaps a change of luck for XGZ, representing his home state of Kuala Lumpur. He'll be playing in the blue home kit of Chelsea, playing from right to left. We've had 2 pretty fantastic games. The first one was very entertaining. The second one was much more tactical, in terms of the value of the second game there. What do you expect to see in this third match, EBD, between these
formation
two players?
change with no more of a 4-2-1-3 formation from XGZ. It's going to be more open. But, if they position their CDM well, it could still be cagey. We'll see.
Yeah, it all depends on that one CDM. Paul Pogba, of course, I'm not so sure which season this. I believe it's the season 14.
It should be the 14 World
Should
Cup.
be a
Pogba.
14, yeah, World Cup Paul Pogba. It's all on his young shoulders, the Frenchman here. As we kick things off, it's a final game for this first match of the day between Admiral Access playing from left to right in the white and black of Derby County, representing Negeri Sembilan. His opponent is XGZ, representing Kuala Lumpur. He's playing right to left with defending to do in the blue of Chelsea. He missed times that jump for the header, the defensive header, but that defensive tackle was perfectly timed in comparison. Passes it forward, XGZ. Didier Drogba on the ball there. Counter attack right now by Cristiano Ronaldo in the middle. Loses that opportunity. Here comes a run here by Lukas Podolski. Yet another fantastic tackle by the left back. You know, all action play right now in the first 10 minutes of the game. Rio Ferdinand actually joins the attack. Here comes Fernando Torres. Gets past one. Not able to get past a second defender. Again, end-to-end stuff for both of these two players. They're just going for each other's throats at the moment here.
Yeah, I mean, XGZ, right off the bat, you can see what the change in formation is doing to his style of play. He's getting his striker 1v1 against the centre-back. Ferdinand got lucky on that occasion, but, you know, Access has to position properly or, you know, he's going to concede.
A brilliant play there between the strikers and the midfielders for Admiral Access, and he gets an early goal in. Zlatan Ibrahimovic gets the credit for that goal there, but that's a brilliant passing interplay between Kaka, Drogba, and finally Ibrahimovic to get the lead.
Yeah.
One goal for Admiral Access.
XGC finding that it's a lot harder to defend with one holding midfielder, and Access just picked up on that fact and went right down the middle and cut through his defense like knife through butter.
That's right. Admiral Access again on the ball right now on the right hand flank. A foul call there by the referee as game continues on with the ball in possession by Admiral Access. Zlatan Ibrahimovic tries to cut inside. Does he have support? Didier Drogba runs inside. There's Kaka open at the edge of the box. Does Ibrahimovic find Kaka? Manages to do so. Huge scramble inside the 6-yard area. Here's Ronaldo on the left-hand side. Still in possession. Ronaldo goes for the shot. Well tackled. Nemanja Vidic, the Manchester United defender. But the clearance is actually, you know, not as far as he would like, but at least he has the defensive throw-in to be taken by XGZ here.
Yeah, XGC stayed patient defensively, you know, kept the shape, made sure that he didn't give any kind of opening to Access and snuffed out the danger, you know, even though it took a while to do so.
And Samuel Eto'o on the left-hand flank for XGZ. You know, he did win the first match, but he is a goal down in this important tie-breaking match. Is Fernando Torres. Beautiful
Brilliant
cut
play.
in. Other shot straight into the goalkeeper again. Maybe a second time here for XGZ. Nothing happening there. Admiral Access will launch a quick counter attack, I'm sure, down the middle, but the ball got intercepted by, again, the left back for XGZ, who's been having a perfect defensive game right now. Fernando Torres, yet again, finding some space in the middle of the box. Lazy back. Gareth Bale, the left foot, cultured cross there, but finding nobody. In fact, it was a good, you know, it was actually a good cross in terms of technique, but there was nobody to receive that cross there as Cristiano Ronaldo goes forward for Admiral Access. You know, quite a scary period there for Admiral Access, but he defended that pretty well.
Yeah, it was there. I mean, XGC is going to be kicking himself because there was a great passage of play in the lead up to Torres' chance. Just was a bit slack with his finishing. I don't know why he shot straight at the keeper, but you know, it's chances like these, when you miss them, you really want to kick yourself because there's only 45 minutes to go.
You know, and XGZ, the entire of the day, he's not been having that many chances in the first place. So whatever chances he get, he has to bury them into the net. But that one miss there by Fernando Torres could pretty much cost him the game, actually. I'm not so sure if he's going to rule that missed chance. This is the beautiful attempt there by Fernando Torres. A goal has gone begging for him. Still, the scoreline reads 1-0 in favor for Admiral Access, representing Negeri Sembilan. He is, of course, playing from right to left in the white and black kit of Derby County. Bit of defending to do here against XGZ, trying to find his first goal of this tie-breaking game. He's playing from left to right on attack right now in the blue of Chelsea. Fernando Torres in the middle. Nobody supporting him down the middle as he has to go through it alone and gets himself tackled, actually. Cristiano Ronaldo for Admiral Access, finding some space on the left-hand side, but hounded by two defensive players. So he has to go back to the back four.
Yeah, we're seeing something from XGZ that we have not seen all afternoon. He's trying to speed the play up at the expense of passing accuracy in the final third of the pitch. You know, it is one thing to pick up the tempo, but it's another to do it with purpose.
Yep, that's right. And he's been losing the ball, however, XGZ. Here comes Didier Drogba on the left-hand side again. the ball keeps getting intercepted at the edge of the box. Fantastic defending by Admiral Access representing Negeri Sembilan. He has the lead. He has the possession right now. 60th minute of the game we are in at the moment, with Kaka finding space down the middle. Lays it left to Paul Pogba, the central defensive midfielder. Ronaldo is all alone on the left-hand side. There is dangerous defending there, but just enough space for XGZ to make the all-important tackle to deny that run into goal. Lucas Podolski whips one in from the corner kick. Almost a third corner kick goal by Admiral Access, who actually passes the ball to XGZ, but the bounce was unkind to SGZ, and Admiral Access scoops up the play in defense.
Yeah, he just needs to kill time now. There's 20 minutes to go for him to win this BO3, and
oh dear,
you know, XGZ giving the ball away.
Yep, to Admiral Access, who goes for a chip shot. Actually, the goalkeeper has had to make an acrobatic diving save there. It was not even sure if that shot was on target. I think it was actually going out, at most hitting the post, but you know, goalkeepers, they gotta do what they gotta do. And conceding a corner kick is better than conceding a goal. Lucas Podolski again aiming for the far post. Nobody there yet again. Here comes another chance here for XGZ to get equalizer goal.
Just delayed the pass there, you know.
Taking too long, yeah. The pass was taking too long. The goalkeeper whacks it out only into the path of an XGZ player. Here comes the man in blue on the left-hand flank. Samuel Eto'o finding lots of space. Somehow deciding to cut back when there's a lot of space in front of Samuel Eto'o. Trying to go two defenders into his path and actually loses the ball. So that strategy did not go down well for XGZ. Another good tackle in defense. Still 1-0 ahead for Admiral Access. Samuel Eto'o finding some space in the middle, not going for the shot yet. Samuel Eto'o taking his time for the shot. And again, good defending by Admiral Access. Bad attack actually by XGZ. Plenty of chances, none of them taken well by XGZ.
Yeah, he's been doing well up to the final third, but when he's gotten in that position, he's just, you know, panicked a little bit and rushed the final ball, and that's why Access has been able to mop everything up so far.
Conceding a corner kick actually, XGZ. We're coming into the final few moments of this entire match between these two players. And if the scoreline stays this way, Admiral Access will go home with the 3 points. And XGZ having won the first match, it will all have been for nothing if he does not find an equalizer within the next 2 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, a bit of a waste, to be honest. I mean, he had the formation necessary to do well in this game, but you know, probably was not used to having that many players forward and playing with a packed, you know, front five.
Yeah, that's right. And again, well defended there by Admiral Access. And the game is over. Admiral Access manages to squeak a 1-0 victory in this final third game of the best of 3. That means Admiral Access, representing Negeri Sembilan, has defeated his opponent XGZ from Kuala Lumpur, and he goes home with the 3 points that he so desperately needs after losing his first match a few rounds ago against Singapore's newbie Zarate. And you know, now he is definitely in the running for the grand finals. He's now placed second in the group match in Group A for this league stages. What are your thoughts on the game so far for these two players, and going into the future, how do you think each of them can improve in the next match?
I think XGZ, you know, he had a lot of joy with his formation change in the third game, but he needs more practice with it. It seems as though he just made the change on the fly and he wasn't sure how to attack with that many forwards. But Access, I was quite impressed with him in the second and third games. I thought he played a solid game defensively. Going forward, he was clinical. So more of that, and we will see more success from this kid.
Yep, you know, hopefully we'll see more success for both of the players, of course, Admiral Access and XGZ. Admiral Access goes home with the 3 points, but of course it's not yet game over for XGZ. Technically, he still has a chance of making into the final 4, but that depends on both Adze as well as newbie Zarate losing their own respective matches. So we'll see for the future how that goes. But you know, that's the end for the first group stage, at least for Group A for today. And up next, we'll have the Group B match that is between Kaizoku representing Negeri Sembilan as well as Hanzo representing Kuala Lumpur. That comes in about 10 minutes or so, and after the end of that second match, we'll have the first quotes of the day. I'm sure a lot of people are waiting at home for that, so stick around for the second match between Kaizoku and Hanzo, and we'll be back here in about 10 minutes or so. See you guys then. Till then. Hi, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to round 4 of the league stage for KakiBola National Championships. I'm Evil Sword, and with me, of course, is Hibidi, and we are on to game number 2 for this match. Early on, we saw MLXS defeating XGZ. MLXS representing Negeri Sembilan. He beat XGZ of Kuala Lumpur 2 games to 1 in quite a long, drawn-out battle. And right now, we have the matches for Group B of the league stage. That is between Kaizoku representing Negeri Sembilan and Hanzo representing Kuala Lumpur. Of course, later on at 3, we will have Perlis Team Junior from Perlis up against Ultras Kedah from Penang, and at 4 o'clock we have the Group D match, that is Old from Kuala Lumpur up against BP Storia from Pahang. And if you guys have are watching this on stream, make sure you log in at the website. That's live.garena.com. There's a login button at the top left hand side, and for every Garena stream that you watch, you will get yourself 1 G view. And if you accumulate enough G views, you can actually redeem it for in-game bonuses for FO3, League of Legends, as well as AVA, all the games that we have here by Garena. Trying to show you the website here. So here we go. This is the website here, live.garena.com. We've already logged in inside here. The login button should be at the top left there, where the mouse is showing there. And once you have logged in, you will accumulate G views. And if you go over to the redeem page here, if you accumulate enough G views, you can redeem the G views, of course, for various golden bonuses in FO3, LOL, as well as AVA. For example, for every time you watch a stream, you get 1 G view. So if you watch 3 streams, you accumulate 3 G views, you can actually redeem 200,000 EP for free. There's no payment required. All you need to do is just watch enough views. You accumulate 25 G views, you watch 25 streams, you can easily redeem 5 million EP. It's pretty decent actually, and doesn't cost any money, and after a while, after a few days, you'll be able to accumulate all these G views. And of course, it's not just limited to the FO3 streams. You can watch any stream being shown on live.garena.com and you will accumulate G views. Just make sure that you log in into your account when you do so. This is a schedule for the next few days, of course. We're now on the 20th, so the next one will be on the 24th as well as the 25th of February for League of Legends. So even if you do not watch League of Legends normally, you can just log in and you'll get the G views, and you get 3 G views. Easy EP for you as well. But of course, right now we're going to go back into the game because both of the players are ready here. It is Kaizoku representing Negeri Sembilan up against Hanzo from Kuala Lumpur. Hibidi, in your career so far, have you played against either of these 2 players?
I have come up against Hanzo on numerous occasions, especially in the SEA Championships. He is a good friend of mine, after we've known each other for probably about a year or so. He is a good player, but since I am a commentator today and I am supposed to be impartial, I hope he loses. But shout out to Hanzo!
There's some impartiality from one of the best Singapore players of the game. But of course, let's take a look at the lineups of these 2 players. Kaizoku playing as a home side here. He looks to be utilizing a slightly altered 4-1-1-4 that we saw earlier on. The 4 strikers we saw being utilized by MLXS of Negeri Sembilan. It features a flat back 4 as well as a flat front 4 strikers. But look like his Negeri Sembilan compatriot Kaizoku here has opted of some, slightly skewed diamond shape for his front 4 strikers. Your thoughts on this, EBD?
To be honest, I find this formation quite interesting. I would play it because instead of going back to front with 2 strikers up top, you drop 1 into the hole and you have a lot more options for build-up play in the final third. So I like this formation. I think this is going to be really interesting.
And looking over at the formations for Hanzo, another 4-1-1-4. This time, however, much more compact in terms of positioning. It's not really a flat back or a flat front 4 here, and they're all equally spread out in almost an arrow formation here. And in terms of the distance between the top striker as well as the defenders, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is placed pretty much inside the box for all intents and purposes. But Hanzo's Ibrahimovic is actually placed further away. It's almost a center forward position.
I think what Hanzo is trying to do is that he's dropping his front line, further back so that he's trying to get the opponent's defense to press up, and then he can play quick passes and get in behind. So what he wants to do is suck you in and then play a ball over the top to get one-on-one with the keeper.
Yeah, perhaps, you know, it might even be that Hanzo's going for a more possession-based, you know, style of play here.
That
Maybe
too.
short passes between even the front five here and the back five. I mean, the distance between Ronaldo and Sergio Ramos is not as far as Maicon and Ronaldinho here on the left flank, just as an example. So we might see, you know, some patient build-up play from Hanzo, you know, in comparison to Kaiserku. But then again, Kaiserku's diamond formation here, it shows, it seems that to be a sign of, you know, him of an intent of passing as well, because normally the flat front four here is simply go to the flanks, cross into the middle here, but it looks to have ample passing opportunities to be shared here between the front four.
Yeah, so he's giving himself a lot of options. He can play it short and sweet, or go over the top. So it's a good mix in terms of what he can get from his lineup.
Yeah, that's right. You know, both of these two players here are right now the top two players in their respective groups. This is the Group B match, of course. Hanzo from Kuala Lumpur playing in the home Barcelona tie. He is currently first in his group after 2 wins, and Kaiserku is placed second right now here. Oh, sorry, it's not after 2 wins. Hanzo has played 1 game and he won that. Kaiserku has played 1 game as well, but he only won that on a smaller margin, and that's why Kaiserku is placed second in the group. Both of these players, of course, are playing their second match of the league stage right now over here. It's Kaiserku in the home kit. So Kaiserku as a home side representing Negeri Sembilan. He's in the all-white kit of FC Ufa, and his opponent, of course, Hanzo from Kuala Lumpur, rated as one of the top, if not the top, Malaysian FO3 player right now on the server. He's playing as the away side in the traditional Blaugrana crimson and blue of Barcelona, playing from right to left. As we wait for the game to kick off, and kick off it does with Kaiserku on the ball playing from left to right against Hanzo playing from right to left, representing Kuala Lumpur. The game starts with bit of passing here by Kaiserku and loses that ball actually. There's a villain defensive surge by the forward. It looks like he's going for a full court press here, a high pressing style similar to what, you know, Borussia Dortmund would have done during Jurgen Klopp's time, or even Atletico Madrid's Diego Simeone, how he will employ his defensive structure to be, where even the strikers will have to help out with defense. And looking at how strongly Hanzo is actually pressuring the defenders for Kaiserku, we might see, you know, a very high chance of tackling, high rates of tackling by Hanzo in this game.
Yeah, he's looking to put the pressure on him from the opening minute, and he's been doing a good job so far. You know, Kaiserku hasn't really been able to get out of block so far, and neither has Hanzo. I mean, they're both pressing high up the pitch, they're both playing similar formations, and it could get a bit cagey.
I think still, you know, a bit of a messy start to the game right now, but here's an opportunity for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Oh, he actually goes underneath the goalkeeper, goes for a tight angle shot, and he gets the first goal of the game with the first shot on target actually. 1-0 in favor for Kaiserku from Negeri Sembilan.
Yeah, if that had happened in real life, you would haul your keeper off. Because we are on an old engine, we accept it and we call it brilliant play.
Maybe we won't see that in the new Impact engine, but who knows. But what matters is that Hanzo is right now on the ball. He is a goal down. He's trying to build up his play here on the left-hand flank. Well defended by Sergio Ramos, by Kaiserku there. And he goes on his counter-attack here. Chooses to slow the game down. Passes all the way back to Mike on the left back for Kaiserku. And he builds up play patiently yet again. Fernando Torres on the ball here. Cuts back into the center circle. Philipp Lahm of Bayern Munich and Germany as a right back deployed by Kaiserku. He's not sure where he's going to go. Just goes back and forth, holding the ball there, trying to go the attacker into making the needless tackle. Back to Philipp Lahm. Good string of passes here by Kaiserku. Wonderful through ball there. Right now is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Can he get another shot in? Too many defenders ahead of him, however. Sergio Ramos has the ball, collects it for Hanzo, passes the ball directly into a white-shirted attacker. Ibrahimovic gets manhandled out of the way by the centre-backs, and Hanzo is finally having some space to breathe on the left-hand flank. Zlatan Ibrahimovic down the middle. Paul Pogba rampaging forward. Back to Ronaldinho. Ibrahimovic. Long range shot. It bounces off the crossbar here. Sneaks underneath it into goal. Beautiful shot there, Ibrahimovic equalizes the game 1-all apiece.
Yeah, brilliant goal by Hanzo. You know, Kaizoku was trying to frustrate him with short passes and possession play, but he just marched right up the pitch and put it into the top corner.
Now we've seen brilliant passing right now from both of these two players here. Kaizoku right now on the ball, looking for his second goal to take back the lead that was taken away from him just 3 moments ago. Here comes a surging run forward by Ronaldinho, finds Zlatan Ibrahimovic up front. And the Barcelona kid player Hanzo actually gets the ball away. Fernando Torres on his favorite right foot squeezes it underneath the goalkeeper. He gets the lead now, 2-1 in favor of Hanzo, the man from Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, I thought the chance was gone there when he did a strange and completely unnecessary trick in the middle of the park with Ibra. But you know, somehow the ball broke kindly for Torres and he just slotted it into the far corner.
That's right, and you know, 3 games in quick succession here after a very cagey and stale first 20 minutes. We now have a 2-1 lead in favor for Hanzo up against his opponent Kaizoku, who's been knocking on the doors all game long, but only 1 goal to show for it. Michael Essien manages to get, you know, the ball intercepted actually, and the half ends here, end of the first half I mean, in this first match of the best of 3. You know, both of them have only got 1 or 2 shots a target. At least it's a 100% conversion rate in terms of attacking here. This quick shot in the start of the game by Ibrahimovic only to be countered by 2 excellent finishes by Hanzo, and the score right now is 2-1 in favor of the man from Kuala Lumpur. It's Hanzo.
I am very impressed with how Hanzo responded to going 1-0 down. First of all, it was kind of a fluke goal, and after that Kaizoku proceeded to try and play a possession game and try and frustrate, but Hanzo is just experienced enough to know how to flick the switch.
Oh, that's right, and Hanzo right now has the ball. He has the lead, cuts inside, a flick on by Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Fernando Torres wins himself a free kick in a dangerous territory here. Looks like it's Gareth Bale looking for the shot here. Oh, bounces off the post. The goalkeeper saves it away, but the bounce actually goes directly into the path of, I believe that was Cristiano Ronaldo, who chests the ball down, unable to control it in time. However, here comes Hanzo again on the left hand side. It's Cristiano Ronaldo trying to get past Philip Lam, unable to do so, so he cuts back to his left back. Paul Pogba, maybe going for a long range shot, chooses to pass to Ibrahimovic, who goes for his own near post finish, but Manuel Neuer, the goalkeeper for Kaizoku, goes down fast enough to concede a corner kick instead.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to do the same
Same
kind of
trick, yeah.
finish.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the keepers cannot be that silly all the time.
That's right, and you know, the short corner kick being taken in, whipped crust inside, finding nobody except a defender. Philip Lam just goes forward. Look at the amount of space he has on the right hand flank. Philip Lam, however, decides to cut inside, manages to draw the fall from Jose Busuinga. So it's not really a bad case right there. Short free kick taken here by Ronaldinho, and it looks like Kaizoku is hell-bent on, you know, passing the ball around actually instead of rushing forward. Here comes Michael Essien, and he is unable to latch on to that through ball there. Cristiano Ronaldo right now sprays the ball onto the right-hand flank. Great control there by Gareth Bale. However, the tackle is actually well done by Kaizoku, who sprays his own cross-field pass onto the left flank. Ronaldinho on the left-hand side goes for a roulette turn, not once but twice, not able to get past the defender, and he concedes a corner kick with that tackle. Here is Cristiano Ronaldo taking the corner kick. Now it's back to Ronaldinho instead. Not many white-shirted strikers in position. The ball just bounces in front of everybody's eyes, and Kaizoku now down 2-1. He goes into the club settings menu to make some changes. I believe we're in the 70th minute of the game here, Hibidi. What changes do you think is necessary for Kaizoku, if any, for him to get at least that equalizer goal?
Well, if I were him, I would shift my centre forward a lot higher up the pitch. I would play with 2 up top, because you've only got 20 minutes to go and you really don't have time to be passing the ball around and doing fancy.
It looks like Hanzo is here. He just buries that. You know, Fernando Torres finding all the space in the world, gets that 3rd goal in for Hanzo. 3-1. I think that is game over, at least for the first match for Kaizoku.
Yes, it is. It is game over with 15 minutes to go. The time passes pretty quickly in FO3 in this engine. So, a 2-goal cushion for Hanzo, and you know, playing with this kind of confidence, I would say the game's in the bag.
And Hanzo is not content with having a 3-goal lead. It looks like he's still going for a 4th goal, managing to get past one defender. Here comes Hanzo. the man from Kuala Lumpur representing Kuala Lumpur in the blue and red of Barcelona. He still has the ball on the left-hand flank here. Not going for the cross. Finally does, looking for, I believe that is Ronaldinho, but the defender manages to get ahead of him. The header, however, not far enough, and he actually concedes a corner kick in dangerous timing here. 85th minute of the game, down 3-1. Concedes a corner kick. Hanzo is just trying to stay in position here. Here comes Mats Hummels joining the attack. And finally, Kaizoku is able to get the ball out of the danger area, but will it be too little too late here? It's Zlatan Ibrahimovic passing the ball back to Ronaldinho. The ball is still stuck in the center circle. Ibrahimovic on the left-hand flank finds nobody except Jose Bozingua, the right back for Hanzo, and he clears that out as far as he can. Only 3 minutes of time remaining here. Even if Hanzo scores, I don't think it's enough time to get a third equalizer goal that he desperately needs. And there we have it, the end of the first match here between these two players. It's Kaizoku from Negeri Sembilan losing this match here 3-1 against Hanzo from Kuala Lumpur. Hanzo showing some class and determination after conceding the early goal there, but managing to claw 3 goals, in this game so far. How do you think the match is, is happening at the moment here, Hibidi?
Yeah, I know Hanzo's play has just been really impressive. He went 1 goal down, came back to 2-1, and then just controlled the play all over the park and managed to get a third at the end. And as long as he doesn't give away cheap goals, as long as his keeper doesn't give away cheap goals like he did in the first half, it should be pretty smooth sailing for him in game 2.
Yeah, in terms of defensive structure, I believe, I think Kaizoku really needs to step it up right now. He has, a flat back 4 of defenders here. Where is Kaizoku? There we go. He has a flat back 4 as well as 1 CDM here. He should be able to squeeze up the defenders a little bit more tightly than that. He's just leaking goals at the moment. It's not just goals. Opportunities have come begging for Hanzo as well. And, I think it's just a matter of Kaizoku being able to cope with the pressure of Hanzo with his high pressing style of defending there.
Absolutely. Hanzo has just been able to find gaps in Kaizoku's defense. He's just been able to exploit the little spaces between the tight back 4, and he's doing it with very incisive passing moves, so he needs to keep that up.
Yep, that's right. And looking at Hanzo's formation, still says unchanged. Of course, do not change what is not broken. That is the general theme for most of the professional FIFA Online 3 players here. But for the team lineup for Kaizoku here, he just makes slight positioning changes to his defenders here. Now he brings in Michael Essien from a CM position down to a CDM, the RDM position, to partner Paul Pogba as the 2 defensive midfielders. So technically he has 6 defensive midfielders here. Do you think this small change will be enough to to change the outcome of the game?
Well, you don't know if it's going to change the outcome, but it definitely is the right change to make, because he was absolutely overrun in front of his box in the first game. So this should help stem the tide of Hanzo's attacks, but if Hanzo keeps playing the same way, if he keeps passing the ball at that high tempo, he will get through.
That's right. Hibidi, over the past few years watching you play, you've been, quite a advocate of weird formations. I still remember the time where you went for a 6-5-0, 6-4-0 in a grand final game, and well, that did not turn out, that turned out very horribly for you.
Correct.
Back then.
My mantra in FIFA is, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, baffle them with bullshit. So
I'm not so sure the success rate for that, but I'm looking at how Hanzo has been playing here. If you were in Kaizoku's shoes, what would you do actually? Seeing how Hanzo plays with a very high line, very hard pressing defensive structure, how would you play your second game, knowing that you must win this second game in order to have any say at all in this matchup?
Well, the change he made, I agree with that. You want to show up your defense, you want to have 2 holding mids, but up top is where I would shift my number 10 into an out-and-out striker role. So instead of a 4-2-3-1, which is what he's probably playing at now, I would go for a 4-4-2 and play over the top balls, try and stretch the play, make sure Hanzo thinks before he tries to press me. But that is the problem with this FIFA 11 engine. You can't really go long because of stamina. You can't really go long because of the long ball problem. It just, I mean, the trajectory of long balls just isn't right. But when we move to the new engine, people who play high press formations, they will have to think before they do it.
You know, it really sounds like you are a huge advocate for the new impact engine. Of course, for you guys at home who's not so sure what's happening here, yesterday Garena has announced that they will be updating the engine of FIFA Online 3 to the brand new impact engine that's being used by the regular FIFA games. It's actually been in use since FIFA 12 actually, and I believe that we are going to use a FIFA 13 version of the impact engine, and I myself can't wait to see the new engine in play. It will be released in March 2016, but at least for the duration of this tournament, from what I know, we will still be continuing and using the old system here, and that's what we're using right now. It's still the old system, and we're going into the start of the game right now here. It's Kaizoku from Negeri Sembilan. He's playing from left to right. He has got an attacking free kick here on the right hand flank. He is of course playing in the all white kit of FC Ufa. He actually goes for direct shot. All too easy for Petacek, of course, in possession here with the ball. He is being controlled by Hanzo of Kuala Lumpur, and he has the 1-0 game advantage after that strong 3-1 win against Kaizoku in the first match. This is of course game 2 of the best of 3. If Hanzo wins this game, it's game over. He goes from the 3 points. Can he score actually from this corner kick? There's a brilliant takedown. Actually scores a goal there. Brilliant goal scored by Zlatan Ibrahimovic. 1-0 for Hanzo. He extends his lead right now
And
against
brilliant spot
Kaizoku.
by Hanzo. You know, he saw when he was controlling his winger that Ibra had peeled off his marker and sent it to the far post. Let him win the 1v1 with the shorter fullback and just waited for the keeper to come out and dinked it over him.
Yeah, that's fantastic positioning there by Hanzo. You know, to pin, you know, a tall, powerful striker in the shape of Zlatan Ibrahimovic against a left back the size of Philip Lahm, who's only like 1.68 meters tall. Yeah, he's right now in the middle right now. Here is Gareth Bale for Hanzo. He's going forward, looking for his second goal here. Still Gareth Bale on the right-hand flank. Shoved aside by his Real Madrid teammate Cristiano Ronaldo. And Kaizoku down a game, down a goal, and you know, down on luck. Right now at the moment he has possession and he has to make do with it right now. Let's see what he does on the ball. Kaizoku, right side is Iron Robben. Will go for his cut in. Here's Paul Pogba laying it off to Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but Ibra gets cut off in the middle of the box here. And Hanzo goes on attack here right now in 30th minute of the game. You know, Hanzo doesn't really have full control of the game yet. In my opinion, it looks like Kaizoku has had better opportunities, but he's just not making those incisive passes that we would like him to make.
I think so. You know, he's also feeling the effects of this new formation. He has 2 holding mids, so he has 1 less player up in attack. So it is a bit bogged down at the moment, but you know, nothing to worry about so far. It's still about 35 minutes in. He can probably wait until early in the second half before he decides to make a change, but he's getting good success.
Yeah, here's an opportunity for Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Gets the shot off. Well intercepted, well blocked off by the defender, and that bounced harmlessly into the arms of the goalkeeper here. Coming into the end of the first half pretty soon, with only 5 minutes of game time remaining. Here comes Ronaldo trying to use his speed against Jose Bozinho, but his Portuguese compatriot is almost equally as fast as his number 7 compatriot here. As Cristiano Ronaldo loses the ball, here comes Hanzo on the attack. Maybe he can get a last minute second goal in the dying minutes of this first half here. Ronaldo lays it forward. Fernando Torres passes into the path of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who gets the second goal of the game. 2-0 in favor of Hanzo.
Brilliant play by Hanzo, just staying patient with Torres, waiting for the run to develop from Ibra and just sticking it into an empty net. This is really impressive play. And Kaizoku is really in trouble now. He needs to make a formation change. We probably will see him go back to a 4-1-1-4, maybe even a 3-1-2-4 or something like that, but he needs to make changes, and he needs to make changes fast.
Yeah, you know, he is leaking goals at the moment here. 2 goals in 1 half when he actually needed a win in order to stay alive in this matchup here. He actually has 56% of the possession here, but none of the goals to make up for it, and Hanzo has only 2 shots on target. He buried both of them with a 100% conversion rate, shot to goal conversion rate, of course. And it looks like Hanzo is just making, you know, the best of whatever little chances he has had.
Yeah, the class of Hanzo is starting to show. A man with international experience under his belt. You know, he's playing with confidence and verve and swagger. And Kaizoku, on the other hand, he seems to be a bit nervous. You know,
Seems hesitant to attack.
he is. He's not making decisions in the final third like he should. You know, with a lot more speed, and so Hanzo is taking advantage of it.
Yeah, and he has the ball right now as we kick off the second half of the second game in the best of 3 between Hanzo from Kuala Lumpur, playing in the traditional home kit of Barcelona. From left to right, he is in the lead up against FT Kaizoku from Negeri Sembilan in the all-white FC Ufa kit. Sliding tackle comes inside. Oh, that's almost a brilliant long-range goal there by Hanzo. By Paul Pogba, actually. Gets past 2 defenders very easily there, but shot a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. Concedes a corner kick here. Hanzo has a corner kick, maybe to be taken short. Shot it is. Jose Bozingo on the right-hand flank. Gets tackled, but Gareth Bale is there to cover up for Bozingwa's mistakes. Here comes Ronaldo, maybe can go for a shot. Gets past 2 defenders, goes for a cross instead. Gets himself another corner kick, this time on the opposite flank, as Hanzo guns for his 3rd goal of the game.
Yeah, Hanzo has Kaizoku right where he wants him. You know, he's controlling the play in and around the box, getting a lot of corners, and he's being able to express himself on the ball. You know, he's holding on to it, mixing it up, passing it quickly, and Kaizoku just cannot seem to get out of his own half at the moment, and he's doing so right now.
Yeah, you know, Kaizoku's with the formation, slight formational change by Kaizoku at the start of the match to shift the central midfielder to a CDM position, a defensive midfielder position. You're absolutely right in saying that there's now very little options up front there. He barely has had a whisper of a chance at all in the entire of the match, not just first half, but even in the second match, he can't really seem to get the ball inside the box. Maybe he can with this opportunity here on the left-hand side. Ball control by Cristiano Ronaldo. Still not many people inside the box. Here comes Ronaldo trying to weave his way through into the 12-yard area, only managing to get a corner kick for all his troubles. Here comes Ronaldo on the ball. Back to Iron Robin with his left foot. Maybe an outswinger. Back again to Ronaldo. An in-swinger right now onto the path of a white-shirted attacker, but the defender manages to hack the ball away. Here comes Hanzo on the left-hand side. Kaizoku has got to defend this right now, or he will definitely be out of the match. And a good through ball over the tops, finding James Rodriguez, the substitute here. Here comes the attacking midfielder coming inside, cutting back inside, and James Rodriguez gets shoved out of the area. Manages to get a corner kick at least for all the troubles he has been through. Gareth Bale goes short. Again, Jose Bozingwa. Long corner kick, long cross, finding Zlatan Ibrahimovic on the other flank. But well defended by Kaizoku. But it's not just defending, he has got to score at least 2 goals if he wants to stay in this match.
Yeah, he just is unable to get out of his half at the moment, and Hanzo is just playing it brilliantly. One move I've picked up on is that he likes to make these crosses to the far post, and when he has Ibra against a shorter fullback, those are absolutely deadly.
Yeah, very devastating attacking strategy here by Hanzo. Manages to get him, you know, the 2 goals that he needed, that strategy here, but a little bit of defending needs to be done by Hanzo. Of course, he has a good buffer of goals. He's up by 2-0. He has won the first match. It's all in Hanzo's hands right now, unless he royally screws this up. But I do not see that happening anytime soon, because Zlatan Ibrahimovic is finding plenty of space on the right-hand side, and Fernando Torres buries the game. That 3-0 for Hanzo. This is quite simply an amazing performance by the Kuala Lumpur player.
Yeah, once again staying very patient in attack. You know, he held the ball with Ibra until he saw that the defender had to make a decision between coming to close him down or stay with the runner of Fernando Torres. And once that gap opened itself up, Hanzo, just like the experienced player he is, he just passed the ball into an empty net.
I like the choices of the range, the wide range of attacking options that Hanzo has used today here. You know, he has gone for the long range crosses, he has gone for the driven crosses, short range, and that resulted in the 3rd goal here. So, you know, it shows how experienced Hanzo is in this game. He knows the game like the back of his hand.
And
Hanzo,
how dynamic he is as well. In FIFA, you don't just, you know, you can't just succeed by mastering one set of you know, attacking moves. You know, you have to be able to score from any kind of position and from any situation, and Hanzo has done that brilliantly today.
That's right. You know, we've seen so many players come and go in FIFA Online 3 over the past history, or like 2.5 years of gameplay here. I've seen so many players, I've casted so many players. A vast majority of them, you know, have a fantastic plan A. But once that plan A fails, they have absolutely no plan B to speak of whatsoever. Hanzo is one of these few players who, I'm not really, who is not really that flustered when his plan A fails, because he has not just a plan B, but he has a plan C, plan D, plan E. He has a lot of plan, and that is why Hanzo is consistently, especially for the past 1 year, 12 months or so, he's consistently being placed near the top of the tables.
And that is why you have a video made about you.
That's absolutely right. You can of course find it in our YouTube page. Find that in EA Sports FIFA Online 3. That's on YouTube. But that brings us to the end of the Group B matchups here between Kaizoku and Hanzo, with Hanzo taking the 3 points away from Kaizoku, and Hanzo's position at the top of the table is firmly secured. He is definitely running away with the Group B spot here. Remember, only one player from each group will qualify to the top 4 final bracket of the KakiBola National Championship. But of course, there's something for you guys to win at home as well. If you head on down to coupons.fo3.com and input this code that's at the bottom of the screen now, which will only be valid for the next 5 minutes or so, or unless our production team decides to cut it off early, I suggest you go to coupons.fo3.com and input this as fast as possible. I'm not so sure what you get, but I heard it's pretty decent stuff. After all, it's free, so you can't really complain regarding that. So thank you to Garena for having that, and thank you for Hanzo and Kaizoku for showing us quite an entertaining second match. Of course, it's not over yet. We're only halfway through the stream. Up next, we have Perlis Team Junior representing Perlis up against Ultra Skada of Penang. That's at 3 p.m, the Group C match, and after that we have the final match of the day at 4 p.m, the Group D finale between Old and BP Storia. And one last reminder, make sure you log in to live.garena.com and get yourself that G view, because the more G views you accumulate, the better stuff that you can redeem for yourself in the future. So we'll see you back in a few minutes time at 3 p.m. sharp to see the match between Perlis Team Junior and Ultra Skada. I'm Evil Sword, and with me is CBD. We'll see you in about half an hour's time.
And welcome to the brand new Emirates Stadium for this English FA Premiership match. The teams for you this afternoon: Arsenal against Arsenal.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round 4 of the league stage for the KakiBola National Championship. I'm Evil Sword, and with me is, of course, Hibidi, and we have had so many great matches today. We've had 2 matches actually. In the first round, we've had Admiral Access from Negeri Sembilan, who got defeated. That's why he defeated XG Zack from Kuala Lumpur. He won that match 2-1. And then the second one is Hanzo from Kuala Lumpur, who managed to beat his opponent Kaizoku, representing Negeri Sembilan. So that was the matches for Group A and Group B. We're now up to the Group C match, and this is what a lot of people have said is the star match of the day. It is Perlis Team Junior, of course, representing Perlis, up against Ultras Kedah. His name, I have Kedah inside, is actually representing Pulau Pinang. These are two of the top players in Malaysia right now. And you know what, we're gonna go straight into the game. Both of these players have been ready for quite some time now, and taking a look at their formations is actually variants of the same 4-1-1-4 that we've seen being used a number of times today. Actually, looking at Kedah's formation, is almost a exact copy of what Admiral Access of Negeri Sembilan did in his first match. And Perlis Team Junior, on the other hand, you know, maybe slight shift to the right hand flank, but for all intents and purposes, it's the exact same 4-1-1-4 formation, Hibidi.
It is, but this is the exact same setup that R5 uses. So the story behind Perlis' formation is that after he met R5 at the Vietnam Invitational, he decided to use this formation wholesale, and he's been having great success with it. So there is something about this, and Perlis does it really well.
Yeah, you know, Perlis Team Junior is, you know, the overall champion in the last tournament that we had at the Garena Cyber Games 2015 that was held not too long ago, actually in December 2015, and it was with this exact formation you see on screen now that he has won that tournament with, and his opponents Ultras Kedah XI using a similar 4-1-1-4 formation as well, but it's more like the so-called default Malaysian server 4-1-1-4 compared to Perlis Team Junior. So you know, it's two similar systems up against each other. Do you think that by copying R5's formation wholesale, Perlis Team Junior will be able to get the win ahead of his countrymen?
Oh, he's been having a lot of success on this so far, but we've seen, you know, in the previous 2 games that when these formations come up against one another, you know, it comes down to skill and execution in tight spots. So whoever's sharper on the day will win.
Yep, that's right. I mean, in terms of current match standings, Ultras Kedah representing Pulau Pinang, he is actually ahead in terms of the group standings, only because he has scored more goals in his match against Alex of Kuala Lumpur, whereas Perlis Team Junior is in second place in Group C right now. That's because he has only been able to score 3 goals in his win against PNG Arai. So I think, in my opinion, both of these players are, you know, equally matched. They are coming into this match with 1 group win apiece, and it's up to whoever can perform better today that will become the winner here. And Perlis Team Junior is actually going for the very direct attacking gameplay here. Very fast counter-attack as well being shown by Ultras Kedah. Maybe we're going to see an all-action game here as well, as Ultras Kedah brings the ball forward. He is, of course, in the total red kit of Liverpool. He goes for a cross, a bit too far, however. Goes to Gareth Bale, tries to squeeze in the shot, only finding it at the wrong side of the post. Very, very quick succession of attacks by both of these 2 teams in the first 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I think the opening exchanges have shown us how these 2 guys want to set themselves up and play. It's going to be high pace, it's going to be high press, it's going to be, you know, exciting attacks, and it bodes well for the rest of the best of 3 match.
Yeah, it looks like especially Ultras Kedah right now going off the starting blocks with much gusto, and he's been performing really well in terms of attack, actually forcing a save from the goalkeeper and with that near miss back then. But even now, he's finding a lot of space to pass actually within his play style. Right now, Ultras Kedah is being hounded up by Perlis Team Junior's play here. Perlis, of course, playing from left to right in the yellow and black SV Reed colors here, but he's being shoved out of the way there by the defender for Kedah. You know, I'm not so sure if I want to call him Kedah because he's actually representing Penang. Actually, you know what? I think we'll just call him Ultras from here on. That's just to, you know, ease up on the confusion rates here. But Ultras on the ball yet again on the offense. You know, high tempo attacking by Ultras at the moment here, and He's still on the ball actually, and Perlis Team Junior has not been able to catch a break ever since the start of the match, other than the first attempt he had in the first 2 minutes. Still Ultras on the ball, trying to weave the ball inside through Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but nothing happening there. Perlis Team Junior will go on the counter-attack, this time on the left-hand flank. Sergio Ramos passes the ball forward. Didier Drogba is trying to find some space there, managed to find Cristiano Ronaldo on the right side. The final through ball by Ronaldo, going away from Didier Drogba into the grateful hands of Petacek, the goalkeeper for Ultras.
Yeah, Perlis has been trying to play his way out of the back really quickly, and that's gotten him in trouble on a couple of occasions. He needs to, you know, playing a high-paced game is one thing, but you have to make sure you don't give the ball away in transition, because that can really hurt you.
Yeah, it looks like, well, Ultras Kedah is not really giving the ball away at this moment here. Good spot of defending right now by the player representing Pulau Pinang. And the play in red, of course, Ultras on the move yet again. Look at the amount of space he has in the middle. What a brilliant passing combination that is down the middle. And Ultras representing Pulau Pinang is up 1-0.
Yeah, just brilliant triangles all over the pitch from the center circle all the way into the penalty box. He just made a lot of brilliant one-touch passes, and you know, it's a brilliant first goal to kick things off.
You know, Perlis Team Junior was considered one of the crowd favorites getting into this matchup here, but it looks that Ultras is not, you know, is not really scared of whatever titles that Perlis Team Junior has, and he's just going all against it. Look at the possession rate here, 61% in favor of Ultras Penang. 2 shots on target, none whatsoever for Perlis Team Junior. It looks like Perlis Team Junior is having a torrid time, at least for the start of this first half of the first game.
Yeah, Ultras has just been controlling the play, you know, on both sides of the ball. He's been attacking with fervor, he's been defending with a lot of solidity, and Perlis just hasn't had a look in so far. It's been all Ultras.
Yeah, that's right, and it looks like Ultras is content with just dominating the whole game throughout here. He's leading in terms of possession, he's leading in terms of chances created and shots on goal, and it looks that, you know, he has some defending to do right down here, and you almost can concede a goal here, but Ultras managing to wiggle the ball away, concedes a throw in deep in his own half. However, offside being called there. That's why you should not really, you know, pass the ball back so fast to the throw-in taker. As you can see on this, so in this replay here, the throw-in taker in this game is very slow to go back to an onside position. So, you know, players at home, if you're trying to learn something from this game here, make sure that after you get a throw-in, just try to hold the ball a little bit longer. At the moment, we have Perlis Team Junior trying to find a way into the goal area, finally manages to breach the defense, unable to get past the goalkeeper. However, a simple save for him, but at least he manages to get his first shot on target of the day. But he's now having some defending to do here. Zlatan Ibrahimovic for Ultras on the rampage down the middle. Here is Steven Gerrard trying to find some options. Finds one with Paul Pogba in the middle. Jose Bozingwa lays it forward. Gareth Bale crosses inside. Steven Gerrard goes on his own. Maybe a pass would have been better. Gareth Bale right now tries to go on his own yet again. Well blocked by the defenders for Perlis Team Junior, and he's on the attack right now on the left-hand flank. Down the middle. Oh, look at his amount of space Paul Pogba has down the middle. Can he find the equalizer right here? Almost can't get it, but offside is the call there for Didier Drogba. Just a touch offside, maybe a foot or two. No, if he maybe had released the ball earlier, could have been an equalizer goal for Perlis Team Junior.
But it was great defending by Ultras. He made sure that he did not let the forward go until it was in an offside position, and when he did that, you know, Perlis took the bait, and he has an easy free kick to kick things off now.
That's right, you know, getting into the 70th minute of the game, it looks like Ultras could go for a second goal. Ibrahimovic actually misses that opportunity. 9 times out of 10, Ibrahimovic is buried that into goal, but it looks like this is the 10th attempt by Ibrahimovic, so no goal at the moment, but still 1-0 ahead for Ultras Kedah.
Yeah, slightly unlucky there because the ball was bouncing, and you know, in this version of FIFA, when the ball's bouncing, your finishing is off.
Yeah, that's right. Ball control is of utmost importance in any version of FIFA, in my opinion. But Perlis here has some trouble to fix, but he manages to fix that scare there. He's on the attack right now, just dribbles on his own. Manages to keep the ball actually, still in search of an equalizer. Perlis Team Junior continues the dribbling run, manages to draw the foul here. Ronaldinho in a very, very good position for the direct free kick, but that is sails harmlessly over the crossbar.
Yeah, he was probably forced into taking it quickly and didn't get his direction right. The problem with Ronaldinho is, even though he has a good free kick stat, you know, his run-up is a bit too long and you can pull someone on the line to kind of get you covered.
Yeah, you need somebody with that quick snapshot type of free kicks in
Like
order
Luis
to
Suarez.
get it off. Yeah,
That
Suarez
works.
and who was the guy that scored? Gareth Bale also.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bale has a decent free kick wind-up animation, so that's pretty good. But still, you know, Police Team Junior still has a little bit of time to save things here in this first game. About 5 in-game minutes or so. Manages to draw the foul a little bit too far for the direct free kick, so I'm pretty sure he'll go for the short option here. So now Dino looks to be setting up the short option. Yes, he does. Ronaldo on the ball. Passes to the right-hand side. Here's Drogba. You know, normally he should be on the receiving end, but he got tackled out there by the defenders for Ultras. And Ultras goes forward. 4 minutes of additional time to be added on. Maybe he can even get a second goal. Here's Karim Benzema. Tries to chip the goalkeeper. Wayward, however, not even on target. Sails just above the goalkeeper. Still, you know, a little bit of time remaining. Police Team Junior has got to score from this opportunity or he won't have any time at all remaining here. Through ball inside, looking to feed Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Not enough time because that effort was a little bit wasted, and Police Team Junior loses this first match against Ultras Kedah of Pulau Pinang, and Ultras has won this first game of the best of 3, 1-0.
Yeah, Perlis is a really good player, but one problem that we've noticed over the years, I mean, you know, since he burst onto the scene about a year ago, over the months, we've noticed that once he goes a goal down, he tends to, you know, rush things a bit. He
loses his composure.
Absolutely, yeah. He, in the final third especially, he tends to like to play one touch, two touch. That's good when you're winning and your opponent is pressing you. But when they're keeping their shape and they're solid at the back playing contain, that doesn't really work.
And that's right. You know, I think I wouldn't say inexperienced. He is, of course, a very, very good player in his own right. But he is very young. I'm not even sure if he's even 20 years old. I'm sure he's a very young person here, so he has still much to learn in the future, but at least we know that, you know, he has the quality to mount a comeback here. But as it stands, we're going into the second game immediately here. Remember guys, it is game number 3 of the day with Police Team Junior representing Police, of course. He's at the home side of this match up against Ultras Kedah. You know, he has a Kedah in his name, but it's really Pulau Pinang. He's representing his home state of Pulau Pinang here. He's on the away side. He has the game advantage, of course, after winning that previous game 1-0. And Ultras Kedah looks to be on course to cementing that first place position that he has in his group, which is Group C.
He seemed to be able to pick Perlis apart at will, you know, with his formation. And, you know, Perlis has probably picked up on that, and we see a formation change now. It's going to a 4-2-3-1. Probably wants to play with one more holding mid because Ultras was just slicing through the middle in that first game.
Yeah, that's right. You know, in the previous game, exactly like you mentioned, so much space in the middle here, and that is why instead of for 4-1-1-4, he has opted to use 2 defensive midfielders in the form of Paul Pogba on the left, Michael Essien on the right. You know, I'm sure that it will cause, you know, a little bit of problems for Kedah to break through this time. But will this form a problem for Police Team Junior in terms of attack, however? Sacrificing an attacker for a defender.
Yeah, to be honest, I think right now he's going with the safe option. He does not want to concede early and, you know, put himself under pressure in this must-win game too. So I would think from a professional point of view, this is the right thing to do. You keep it tight, and then you have the option of going for the jugular in, you know, the second half or extra time if it comes to that point.
Yep, that's right. I do agree with what you say here because, you know, after all, game number 2 is underway over here, and if Police Team Junior loses this match again, you know, the 3 points will go squarely in favor of Ultras Kedah, and he will be leading the group with 6 points. We must remember that only the top ranked player in each group will qualify to the next stage, which is the Final 4, the grand finals of the KakiBola National Championships. If Ultras Kedah wins this match, then Ultras will have 6 points in his favor, and Police will only have 3. That means that in the final round, the next round, Police must hope that Ultras gets defeated, and Police must win by a huge margin in order to book that spot in the Final 4 stage of the tournament.
Yeah,
So it's a lot easier for them to make sure this is a very important match for both of these two players, of course.
yeah, it's a terrible position to be in when you cannot control your own fate. So Perlis will be hoping to play a lot better this game, but there's a chance here.
Yep, it's Kedah right now rampaging forward with Karim Benzema, but managed to get stopped in his tracks there by the two defenders for Perlis Team Junior. Because Perlis Team Junior is in the yellow and black kit, the traditional colours of his home state Perlis, of course, and he's playing from left to right. His opponent, Ultras Kedah, representing Penang. He's playing from right to left in the all-red home attire of Liverpool FC. He has the game lead. He has a lot of defending to do, however, right here, as Michael Essien charges forward, but the defender for Ultras manages to keep him at bay with that brilliant tackle near his own box, actually. 60 minutes into the game, and other than that, early attempt on goal by Ultras, still lots of build-up play, not much in terms of final strikes for both these two players. I think we're seeing a repeat of the very first match between Admiral Access and XGZ, where both players started the first match firing on all cylinders, but when it comes to the second match, both of them started to slow down and play really conservatively.
Yeah, this is also a consequence of Perlis changing his formation, so it's more of a midfield battle now. It's no longer end-to-end, and we are seeing a very cagey, drawn-out affair so far. You know, a lot of interceptions. It hasn't been as free-flowing as things were in the first game, obviously, but this is what Perlis wants to do. He wants to keep it tight and hopefully snatch a goal and rebuild his confidence from there.
You know, and when you have this 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 formation up against a 4-1-1-4, you do find that there's a lot of space on the flanks for the person utilizing the 4-2-3-1 formation, and that is what Perlis Team Junior have found out here, because early on we saw, I believe it was Ronaldinho, the right midfielder, has had so much space to run forward. Sadly, Ronaldinho is not the fastest player around, so if maybe he had used a Gareth Bale or somebody equally speedy, maybe an Iron Robin or something, you know, maybe he could have utilized that space on the flanks.
Yeah, I certainly think so.
As a damaging point.
I think in FIFA 11 on this game engine, you need to play Ronaldinho in the hole, because on top of him having, you know, less speed than someone like Bale, his stamina suffers as well. So it really plays a big part in this kind of an engine where you run out of energy after.
Oh, brilliant through ball there for Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Didier Drogba claws one back here for Perlis Team Junior. 1-0 for the player from Perlis.
Yeah, and great patience by Perlis Team Junior. You know, he knew he could pick Ultras apart with precise passing move, and that's what's happened when, you know, he has a man advantage with an opponent with a 1 CDM formation.
Yeah, the
brilliant
back
passing.
heel, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Zlatan Ibrahimovic seems to be on form here. 39 minutes into the game, and finally, Perlis Team Junior has broken his duck here with his first goal of the game. No, but still, Ultras has the game advantage. Even if Ultras loses this match, he still has that buffer. He still has the, you know, the comfort of saying, you know, I can afford to lose this match. Of course, nobody wants to lose a match, but at least he can afford to. There's still a third game for him, but it is a must-win for Perlis Team Junior. And that is why he's quickly on the offense here, on the left-hand flank. Loses the ball, however, slightly wayward pass. Cristiano Ronaldo unable to latch on to that pass there, but at least in terms of gameplay, Perlis Team Junior now has some modicum of control in the game. Granted, he still only has 39% possession in the game, but still there is this feeling that at least he has a working game plan in progress in this second match.
Yeah, his midfield especially is a lot more solid now with that extra body in midfield. He's managed to snuff out a lot of Ultras attacks at a very early stage, you know, making early interceptions and just not allowing Ultras to march up the field and go in behind the centre backs like he did in the first game.
And it's been, you know, proving to be really effective in his case right now here. He might not be carving defenses apart with his gameplay, but at least it's a much more solid defensive structure here. It's a much more balanced structure, both in defense as well as attack. As Didier Drogba goes in attack here for Perlis Team Junior, who is playing from right to left in the yellow and black kit of SV Right. And he still has the ball. The ball bounces, luckily in his favor. Goes for the rainbow flick over the top of the head. Kind of successful, but just charges directly into the path of a defender. Here comes Ronaldo again for Perlis Team Junior. Maybe going for another skill move here. Zlatan Ibrahimovic with the fake shot. The resulting shot, however, rebounds off a defender. Gets an attacking corner kick on the right-hand flank.
Yeah, this is where Perlis Team Junior is at his best, when he is 1-0 up and confidence is flowing through his veins. He starts to bring all the tricks out, and that's really hard to live with as an opponent if you're chasing the game.
You know, there's some freedom. You know, he has the freedom to do so because he knows that he is a goal up, and he draws out a foul actually on the edge of the box to be taken by Ronaldinho. Driven cross in, however, a volley here by Paul Pogba sails harmlessly over the bar here. But we see a much better second half actually by Perlis Team Junior, and he's the one now who's, you know, definitely controlling the game, both in terms of possession as well as goal opportunities.
Yeah, for someone like Perlis who plays with a fast-flowing kind of play style, you know, he needs the one goal advantage to build his confidence up, and we're seeing very, very creative play from him in the second half.
Yeah, the passing has been crisp, accurate, and fast. And you know, for a player who relies on a fast-paced attacking style, like you mentioned, you know, it is important for you to see and to feel that everything is falling into place. And again, look at the amount of space he has on the flanks, again on the right-hand flank. You know, I'm just thinking, I'm just hoping maybe Perlis Team Junior can shift Ronaldinho into the hole, into the central attacking midfield position as a central playmaker. And well, he got the left flank covered with Ronaldo. That's a lot of speed. He just needs a quicker right winger, in my opinion.
Yeah, right now his formation is a bit lopsided because all the play is going
On
down
the left
one side.
Yes, that's right.
And
But it's been working well for him at least. But you know, I'm sure that he's trying to extend his lead because a 1-0 lead may not be enough here. Because all Kedah has to do is just to equalize one time, and then the ball will just swing in his favor.
yeah, I think if Kedah does get an equalizer, I'm sorry, Ultras. If Ultras does get an equalizer, you know, we may see Perlis panic again like he did in the first half.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, he's panicking right now here. Look at the defense. He's just being carved apart by Ultras. The man in red, you know, start off by that run down the right-hand flank, just cutting all the way into the box, unimpeded. And Perlis pays for that mistake. However, you know, he's not say out of the game yet. Of course, he still has, you know, a goal to his name here. So it's not game over for either of them. But still, Perlis Team Junior, you know, confidence was with him early on, but now with that goal, it seems that his work is cut out for him at the moment.
Yeah, this will be a great indication of what his character is actually like when he gets pegged back. You know, in the past, his hit, you know, would have dropped. We'll see if he has matured over the past couple months.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, the ball still bounces all over the place here. Dangerous inside the box, but manages to get the ball out. Cristiano Ronaldo still keeps the ball, manages to keep the ball in his possession. Zlatan Ibrahimovic makes the pass and the run. Ronaldo now on the left-hand side. Cuts it back inside, doesn't want to go for the flanks, even though there's so much space on the flank. Both wingers seem to favor cutting into the crowded midfield area. Here's Ultras right now, cutting inside. Can he get a goal right now? Here, oh, almost gets it. Karim Benzema with the snapshot, however, too close to the goalkeeper. And Manuel Neuer clutches that gratefully to his chest.
Yeah,
That
what a let
could
off
have
there.
been very close for Perlis Team Junior. Could have
What a
just
let
lost
off
it.
for Perlis Team Junior. You know, it was great play by Ultras coming in from the flank, you know,
Yeah.
cutting inside, incisive passing, but just a bit unlucky with the finish. Either side of the keeper and would have been 2-1 and game over.
No, I think Perlis Team Junior would, you know, I don't know him personally, but it could be that he's shaking right now because he has had such a good first half. The start of the second half has been solid as well, but everything just crumbled near the end, especially after Ultras, you know, got that equalizer. Nothing has been going in favor of Perlis, and it's Ultras right now who has the momentum in the game. And we might be looking at an upset win by Ultras over Perlis Team Junior. We'll see how it goes, of course, with the start of extra time in this second match in the best of 3. Ultras having the game advantage. If he wins this match, it's game over for Perlis Team Junior. And Perlis Team Junior has the ball right now. Oh, he has open space. Surely he will convert this. No, brilliant save there by the goalkeeper for Ultras as he keeps the score level at 1-1. Brilliant save there. I believe that was Petr Cech. I'm not quite so sure, but it is a corner kick. Taken long, taken deep. Corner inside here. The header over the crossbar. Close there by Perlis Team Junior, but still no cigar.
Yeah, I mean, Ultras getting bailed out by Petr Cech there. It was terrible defending from him, took the wrong angle. Somehow, Perlis just couldn't finish it off.
Yeah, but still, Perlis Team Junior has possession here on the right-hand flank. Ronaldinho will go for a cross. Chooses to cut back inside, still has possession of the ball in a good position, I mean, but loses that out actually. And here comes Steven Jai on the counter attack. It is now Ultras Kedah. It's now Ultras Kedah with the attack. Right now, he has an attacking. No, that's why he's actually went off a defense. Sorry, went off an attacker actually, and time is running out in this first half of extra time. Maybe he can even sneak in one goal. Police Team Junior cutting inside again. Not enough speed by Ronaldinho to force the left back into any sort of trouble here.
He really needs to take him off. He's just run out of stamina and he's a liability on the right flank now. So far no changes from Police Team Junior. I really cannot understand why, but stamina is a big part of the game in FO3 and he needs to take Ronaldinho off.
Could it be how the players how the managers use the player? If you just squeeze in the sprint button all day long, you know, as a human being, if you're expected to sprint non-stop for 90 minutes, I would expect your stamina to go low. You know, but I think it's part of the engine here. If you don't sprint, you're not going to succeed, isn't it?
Correct. I mean, the problem with this game is that your players have to go from back to front really quickly, and this is the only version in the past 5 years where players actually cannot run once their stamina hits the lower part.
No, they just go from, you know, full speed Iron Robin pace to 57-year-old grandmother's pace. Yeah. You know,
Murdersucker's grandfather's pace.
Murdersucker's grandfather, how slow can that be? But in any case, it's the start of the second half of extra time here. The score's still locked at 1-1, and there is a foul occurred somewhere in the middle. Oh, it's actually an offside call. Only a few feet offside, but still, laser hawk eye vision there by the assistant referee at the bottom right hand of your screen there. And you know, as things stand, I think we might have to go to penalties unless one of them somehow capitulates in a most horrible of fashion. But it looks like Kedah is making some great moves down the middle here. Fantastic sliding tackle by Police Team Junior. The last ditch sliding tackle was successful and no foul there. Oh, and Police Team Junior actually might go for a counter-attack. Here he comes on the left-hand side, but nobody in support. Find somebody in the middle. Police Team Junior long loft the through ball onto the right-hand flank. Look at how slow Ronaldinho is running right now on the right-hand side here. Unable to get past Maicon, who has still bounce and bounce of energy left in his tank. However, we're down to the final minute. It's the 120th minute of gameplay here. Can Ultras Kedah somehow find a through ball inside? No space whatsoever. We're going to go down to penalties, ladies and gentlemen. It's the first penalty shootout of the day here between Police Team Junior and Ultras Kedah. Remember, Ultras has the game advantage. He has won the first match 1-0. All he needs to do is win this penalty shootout, and you know, he has the 3 points in the bag. Police Team Junior must win this just in order to stay in this matchup.
Yeah, I think the thing about penalty shootouts is that you need to have the confidence to believe that you are going to win it. From how the ball has fallen today in ricochets and 50-50s, you know, I don't think Police will be too confident about his chances, but you know, one save and things can all change.
Yeah, you know, it's down to the lottery of the penalties here. 9 directions the ball can go. Where will Ronaldo shoot this? He chooses the right-hand side, and well saved there by the goalkeeper for Ultras Kedah. The first shot by Ronaldo is saved. It's Ultras' turn right now, and he buries that in the opposite side here.
Yeah, statistically, the team that takes the first penalty usually wins, but you know, that's just been thrown out the window right now by that save.
Exactly. Well, the score is now 1-1. However, Ultras have a kick to spare. Here's Steven Gerrard. He goes down the middle. Still 2-1 in favor of Ultras Kedah. Police has got to make a save sometime soon. Here comes Jose Bozingwa, and he manages to fool the goalkeeper to the wrong direction. Ultras right now on the ball here. Paul Pogba. Such a good penalty kick taker here. Oh, almost saved there by Police Team Junior. Now, Police has got to score this, otherwise he's out of the tournament. So, out of the game here. Drogba manages to save it. Sorry, manages to score the goal here. Here comes Hamid Altintop of Turkey. And that's a fantastic save by the goalkeeper of Police Team Junior to make the score level at 3-3 after 4 kicks each. Ronaldinho, the 5th kick taker here, down the middle. Confidently by Police Team Junior. If Ultras Kedah is unable to score this kick here by Zlatan Ibrahimovic, then the game will go to Police Team Junior. Here comes Ultras Kedah, and he buries that with such power onto the left-hand side.
Yeah, it seems to favor going to either side, but towards the roof of the net, not right in the corner, and Police has been diving out of the way of those shots.
Yeah, it's just going the wrong way, Police Team Junior right now. Down to sudden death, Bozingwa now for Ultras Kedah. Representing Penang. Can he bury this in? It's Jose Bozingwa down the middle. Directly down the middle. Going into the 7th kick of the game here, Perlis Team Junior with Mats Hummels. We're going to the region where the bad penalty kickers are coming up. Hummels goes down the middle as well. A safe choice there. The goalkeeper dives the wrong direction. Gareth Bale now. Now he's still definitely a good set piece taker as well. But if Manuel Neuer for Perlis Team Junior dives the correct way, then it's all for naught. Here's Gareth Bale, the left foot of him, down the middle as well. You know, it's such a... How do I say this? You know, a lot of people go down the middle, but the goalkeepers don't dare go down the middle as well.
Yeah, because sometimes you don't move, and if the ball goes either way, it just look kind of silly.
Yeah, you do. Just like what happened just now here.
Yeah, I am waiting for one player to have the confidence and the cheek to just
stay in the middle, eh?
chip it down the middle.
Oh,
I mean, it's not enough to just slam it down the middle. You got to chip it for panache and for the lols and for bragging rights.
Well, here's Rio Ferdinand with his dreadlocks there, the 06 version. Oh, almost a save there by Ultra Skada, but Perlis Team Junior manages to weave that just past the fingertips. Here's Maicon declared as a right back here for Ultra Skada. After the 9th kick, will anybody save it? No, it's still a goal. 8 goals apiece right now for both of these players. Sooner or later, we're going to have the goalkeepers go up as well. Sergio Ramos, the centre, will he sky this shot? Oh, he's actually a save! Perlis Team Junior has to make this upcoming save against Ultra Skada, and it is up against Sergio Ramos again. Will the other Ramos miss as well? Here comes Ultra Skada with his kick of the game, and he wins the match here. Ultra Skada, representing Pulau Pinang, has won this penalty shootout, and as a result, he has won this matchup against Perlis Team Junior. You know, it really hurts to be able to lose a match due to penalty shootouts, but after 120 minutes, there's no other way. Somebody has to win, and sadly this time for Perlis Team Junior, Ultras is the one that goes home with the 3 points.
It is. I mean, it is necessary to find a winner, but this is the most cruel way to go out of a tournament. You know, he has probably he's lost first spot, and unless Ultra Skada massively screws up in his final game, it is going to be him moving into the last four.
Exactly. You know, because of how the tournament is being set up, ladies and gentlemen, from each group, only one, the top player, will go on into the final 4, and that's where you want to be. You want to be in the final 4. Well over 20,000, sorry, almost 20,000 ringgit up for grabs. And if you're not top position like Ultra Skada is right now, it is extremely difficult for you to go to the next stage. Perlis Team Junior now has to hope that whoever Ultra Skada faces next loses in this next match, and Perlis Team, then only Perlis Team Junior has any chance whatsoever, going into the next round. But the game's over after 2 games. Ultra Skada leads Group C with 2 wins. Second place is Perlis Team Junior with only 1 win. And of course, the only winner is not Ultra Skada. So you guys at home can also win something at home as well. If you go to coupons.fo3.garena.com, you'll also manage to get yourself a code as well. But I think before we release a code, Hibidi, do you think that you are feeling lucky today? As lucky as Ultra Skada with his penalty shootout?
Well, I hope so, because I just failed at Kaka World Cup 06 to +2 this morning.
Well, do you have any other players?
But let's just
switch sides.
Yeah.
Can we switch sides here? Why don't you take control of the computer? Yesterday, Hibidi had... What pack did you open? Sorry, what pack was it that you opened? And you had 2 Kakas, world best, was it?
Okay, I bought the Lunar New Year lottery. Check it out, guys. It is quite a good buy. We are having, Garena is having a 50% top-up promotion right now. So if you go to the shop, you will see that there is this item, Lunar New Year lottery. It gets you pretty good stuff.
Damn cheap.
I got 180 Sing worth of these things. With all the prize money that you guys gave me.
right, of course.
And we opened some packs, but sadly, my Kaka died. Here it is.
So you had 2 06 Kakas.
Yeah, I had
one
2.
pack, wasn't it?
I had 2 of this guy, and he failed. And right now we have about 250 million in the bank. So let's go and
let's go buy.
Let's give it a go. Let's buy 2 Kakas, and hopefully, Year of the Monkey. They don't screw with me.
New year, new luck, maybe.
Okay, we're gonna use upgrade points because I don't want this guy to die again.
Well, yesterday you failed.
Yeah.
You can't even upgrade a +1. That's
A
how much of a
+1. I
failure
mean,
you
that
are
is
in
brutal.
upgrading.
Okay, let's just make this a bit more interesting. Let's not use upgrade points.
Wow.
Or should we?
I don't know. You failed at a +2.
Okay, let's try it. If this fails, I'm gonna be sad.
Man, yesterday you failed once. That's 170 million EP points down
Okay.
the drain if you're not able to. Where does he go? Kaka, 170 EP points on the line, and it goes!
Woo!
Successful. Well done. Oh,
Okay.
that's really amazing. Okay, well, that's just a +2. That's
Shall
just
we
a
go to
+2.
+3? I don't think so because I am a sissy. So we're gonna cut it right here.
Dude, you're nowhere as you're nowhere as fun as easy game.
I
Come
am
on,
not easy game.
Come on, your easy game would have gone for +3. Come on, ABD. Surely you can afford a +3 attempt here.
Well,
Surely
we
you
are,
can afford a +3. Come on.
we are out of points. So okay, let's try and upgrade someone else because I don't know, what do we have? We have a Ronaldinho.
Now,
we
sadly,
have
I don't
a,
have enough points to do any sort of upgrading.
we have a
here, so
Robin. Well,
I can't do any upgrading
let's buy a
myself.
Robin. We'll try and upgrade this guy. Maybe if we upgrade him to +3, some hair will grow. We
Yeah,
shall
you
see.
know what? You know what? I noticed there's a new pictures up now. It's updated with the new pictures.
New pictures.
You know, this is actually the FIFA 15 version, the 15 roster, isn't it?
I have no idea. I haven't
I
looked at
don't
this,
know,
but
man.
let's
It
try and
looks a
grow
little
some
different for
hair
me,
on
but-
this Iron Robin, and then after this we will give you your codes. That's what you guys have been waiting for.
Let's go,
Okay,
let's
Robin to +3.
+3 Robin. Will Hibidi Gaga Boo Boo be able to get his +3?
Oh wow!
Oh wow, he actually does to get a +3.
Brilliant.
Iron Robin manages to upgrade. Hey, you're on the roll.
I am on a roll.
You know. How
Let's
about
try-
another one? How about a
let's-
Kaka +3?
Oh god! Do not do this to me on stream. Okay, I don't know who else we should upgrade. I don't have anyone else.
I know. I'm just gunning for a Kaka +3, man. Can
Yeah.
you do it? Can you go for a Kaka +3?
People are
Do you
adding
have
me. I
the
mean, what-
gonads to do so?
People are adding me now. What do you guys want to see? You want me to explode my whole team? let me just show you guys what you are up against. This is 1.9 billion worth.
That's almost 2 billion.
Yeah, and
No,
this is
if anything, that
my
shows you
squad
can
now.
afford all this.
I'm just showing off now. This is my first team. You know, this is what you guys are gonna
Okay.
come up against.
All right, how about this? Okay, we're gonna show the codes first for the
Yeah.
players at home. Maybe at the end of the 4th match, or the end of 4th match, I'll try to convince Mr. Hibidi Gaga Boo Boo here to upgrade his Kaka from +2, his successful +2 to +3, because I believe he can do so. He has luck today. Chinese New Year is coming soon. So guys, head on down to coupons.fo3.garena.com and input this code right now at the bottom of the screen. I'm not so sure what it is actually. You know, I'm sure that Hibidi will be inputting the code as well later on. But this code will only be valid for the next 5 minutes or so, or until the GMs decide the time is up. So make sure you head on down as soon as possible. Also head on down to live.garena.com and log in to get your free 1 GView as well. Accumulate enough GViews, you can redeem it for various in-game prices like, well, even 5 million EP points. Head on down to the websites to find out more, of course. And up next at 4 o'clock sharp, we will have our final match of the day. It's Old of Kuala Lumpur up against BP Storia from Pahang. That's at 4 p.m. sharp, guys. So stick around. There will be one more code at the end of that 4th match, if memory serves me right. So I'm sure you guys will want to head on down after that. So we'll see you guys at 4 p.m. See you guys soon. Good afternoon and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to round 4 of the league stage for the KakiBola National Championship. I'm Ilversort and with me is CBD. We've had 3 matches down. We're down to our very last one here. It's going to be Old up against BP Storia. Old, of course, representing Kuala Lumpur and Storia representing Pahang. This is the Group D match at the bottom of your screen there. Earlier today, we've had Admiral Access of Negeri Sembilan defeating XGZ of Kuala Lumpur in Group A. And in Group B, we've had Hanzo, of course, beating Kaizoku of Negeri Sembilan. Group C, we've had, Ultras Kedah beating Police Team Junior. And then up next is going to be the Group D match, of course. It's Old against Storia of Pahang. Okay, now it looks like both of the players are actually ready in the game. So, you know what, we're going to go straight into the game here. Now, we saw early on that Kedah defeat Police Team Junior in the Group C. That means that Kedah is now the #1 ranked player in the group. You know, in this tournament, everybody's gunning for one of the 4 spots remaining in the in the grand finals of the KakiBola National Championships. The only way to do that is that you must be the top of your group in order to do so. And right now, Old is actually in 3rd place after the loss that he had in the previous round, Storia is actually in 4th place because Old scored more goals than Storia in this match. So, if either one of them lose the match today, I think they can safely say goodbye to the chances of going to the next round.
Yeah, the fact of the matter is that in a situation like this, in a format like this, you cannot lose your first game. And so these guys are just under immense pressure now. They will have to, not put a foot wrong. They have to play with tempo, but at the same time keep it defensively solid. And that's going to be a challenge when there's pressure on you and there's money on the line.
Yep, that's right. I mean, all of these players are the top 16 players in both the Malaysia and Singapore servers here. And all of them are guaranteed, some prize money themselves here. But, when the grand prize is 5,000 Malaysian ringgit, and the only way to get closer to that is if you top the group, both Old as well as Storia are not really in a good position in order to do so. It is important that they must win this game. Not only this game, but of course the next game that they have in the upcoming rounds as well. But let's take a look at the lineups here. We have me and ABD, we have a sneak preview of the lineups and the formations that both these players like, and it seems to be yet another 4-1-1-4 against 4-1-1-4 matchup right here. It looks like both of them are actually very, very similar styles actually. Maybe Storia has a slightly more withdrawn and compact back four here between Bozingwa, Ramos, Vidic and Alaba compared to Old, whereas Old has a little bit more spaced out, but in my opinion, virtually no differences between the two teams here.
In essence, it is exactly the same. It is exactly what you said. There is no difference. It's just a bit of OCD on the part of either player to
that's right.
push it around.
Yeah, because I mean, with all the players doing the running and stuff like that, there's no way that we are actually going to see much difference in terms of formations here. So I think this will be down directly to the individual player skills. Of course, it is Old as Kuala Lumpur playing on the left-hand side as the green and black Tours FC kit, and his opponent is BP's Storia from Pahang. He will be playing in the away. I believe that was Racing Lawn's outfit. Basically is the red and yellow one you see on the left side of your screen right now. Here he will be playing from right to left as the away side. I mean, we've had 3 matches so far here. Most of them, if not all, have been either really entertaining or very high in tactical value. What do you think of Old's chances here? It's been a long time since we saw him really at the the final 4 stages. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has. I mean, somehow he has been overtaken by younger, faster and more dynamic players like Perlis, like Ultras Kera. His style is one in which he likes to go from back to front very quickly with long balls, and with his World XI players. They are not on display today, and we will see if he has a plan B.
Because judging by the FO3 history, Old is actually one of the more storied, one of the more popular players on the server. He had such a great run in the first year of FO3, and he has won so many tournaments representing Malaysia multiple times in FO3 tournaments. But as of late, we've seen more players, other players like Hanzo, Palestine Jr., Ultras Kedah. But here's Old right now. Maybe he can even score one. Yes, he does. He gets the first game of the day of the series here in the 12th minute of the game, and Old coming in with a goal courtesy of Fernando Torres. 1-0 to the man from Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, and we see O's trademark celebration of running around in circles, trying to take the mickey out of his opponent, which is kind of smart when you score so early on. But
it gets your opponent a little bit more frustrated.
It does, but once again, this is the ball over the top I was talking about from O. That is his trademark. He just times it really well. He makes sure that his player is in line with the last event and just stinks it over the top.
It is so difficult to hit that sort of over the top through ball, because 80% of the time when other players do it, it's just too short or too long, and Old just has that recipe down where it's always just nice for his strikers. Here comes Old again on the right hand flank. Fernando Torres bamboozling his man marker there for the second time here. He's still Fernando Torres on the left foot on the wrong side of the post. However, still 1-0 for Old here, and looks like Storia, his opponent from Pahang, has not had any of the ball. He's just defending all the way, and he's not even defending that well at the moment.
It's been all so far from the start, from the first 20 minutes actually. He's been perfect with his step overs, his passing, his long ball. So he is in control at the moment, but as we have seen time and time again today, it all can change with one silly mistake.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Storia right now, finally he has a touch on the ball. Here comes Francesco Totti. Slightly wayward pass, but still manages to find David Alaba, the left back, on the left-hand side, and Ronaldinho just runs directly into the path of Jose Bozingua, and the ball actually bounces off Ronaldinho. But still, Stovia has the ball here with a good interception by Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Francesco Totti chooses to go short in view of Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Stovia concedes that free kick for Old. You know, you just said it yourself here. Old has controlled the game, but one mistake could just turn the tides into his opponent's favour.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about being 1-0 up is you will try to dominate possession, you will try to slow it down, but in doing so, you can lose a bit of your impetus that got you the first goal in the first place, and that's what a lot of players do, which is worrying.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen that in the first two games. Emerald Access and Kaizoku, both from Negeri Sembilan, leading 1-0 up and, you know, dominating possession, but not able to get that second goal, concedes 2 goals in quick succession, and, you know, just because of that, the 3 points do not go to Negeri Sembilan, it goes to their opponents. Here comes Old, however. He looks determined to get a second goal. That shot, however, was well blocked by the defender for Stovia. And 40th minute of the game, Stovia, nobody up front. Is just, you know, Zlatan Ibrahimovic as well as Didier Drogba finding some support on the right-hand side. James Rodriguez, however, poor passing by Stovia. Passes it directly to the left back. Counter-attack right now. Francesco Totti will be able to link up with Ibrahimovic. It looks like Ibrahimovic goes for the chip shot when perhaps a regular shot would have done the trick there.
Yeah,
Still
or he
1-0.
could have taken it round the keeper. You know, poor decision making there, but you know, it just happens so quickly, so you can't really fault Old for that.
So, but still, Old is trying and trying again. You know, Stovia has got to shut out the mistakes that he's making in the middle of the park, because he's just passing the ball directly to the opponents. Possession rates are kind of equal, with actually Old having less of the possession, but Stovia has had plenty of possession himself, but he's just passing the ball directly into the path of his opponent.
Yeah, Old's been better in the final third, that's for sure. You know, in the middle, it's pretty even because they're essentially playing the same formation. But Old in the final third has been really, really rock solid so far.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it looks like the Old that we've come to see and love in the past few years here. It's a little bit sad to see him out of the picture for so long, but you know, it looks like at least in this game, you know, we see the Old that we have come so keen and so used to seeing here.
Yeah,
As
the
we
old
start
of
off,
old.
the Old of Old, okay. As we start off the second half again, look at that villain. Over the top, true ball by Old. Cuts inside to his favourite right foot. Zlatan Ibrahimovic converts that into a goal. 2-0 for Old from Kuala Lumpur.
Brilliant play again. Once again, the through ball over the top, which he executes so well. I mean, the timing of it is just perfect. No other player can do it as well as him.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and this is his trademark. Every player has his so-called trademark move. Yourself, you know, everybody knows you go to the wing and try to skill move inside. Halvox is just devastating. Halvox of Singapore, I mean, he's devastating with the crosses. His crosses are pinpoint, amazing, accurate. And Old, you know, he's the master of the over-the-top through balls. If you want to know how, you know, to do over-the-top through balls, you've got to learn it from Old, because he's just did it twice in this game alone. And this, you know, this best of 3, you might even see more of it. And but Stovia has got to defend better here, and he does defend well in that instance. The left back David Alaba manages to strip the ball away from the attacker. Here comes the attack right now, but it fizzles out. Great defending, great interceptions there by Old from Kuala Lumpur. Still 2-0 on his 2-0 on his favour.
Well, Old tried another through ball there, but he should have held on to the ball, really. I mean, he's 2-0 up. He can take his time with his attacks, but he just wants to go for the killer goal and finish this game off.
Yeah, that's right. Fernando Torres coming inside. Oh, that could have been an own goal. Yes, it is. Almost an own goal, but Fernando Torres, just before the ball crosses the line, he taps it in. Easy third goal for him. A sad mix-up there between the goalkeeper and the defender for Stovia. I think Stovia just have to look forward to the second match, and that's where he can make his mark.
I think there's something I've learned from O today. This celebration that he likes to do, it looks as if you are flipping your opponent off. So it really, really fits into what I like to do to my opponents. I will implement that into my game plan.
I don't know when's the next tournament they're gonna join. However, you know, you're out of this KNC, but maybe with the Impact engine come online. You know, I myself, I'm very interested in joining one of the tournaments when the new engine comes into play. But in this tournament, at least, you know, at least in this match, we see that Old is, you know, very comfortable. He's in his skin right now. He is doing what he loves to do best, and that is to dominate opponents. And you know, he's just doing it ever so well. 3-0 ahead of him. A bit of defending for him to do right now. Stovia with a chip of his own, however, Old is doing the right thing in trying to hit the ball back to his goalkeeper, and that is just enough to cause Didac Drogba, the attacker for Storia, to stumble a little bit, buying some precious time for him. Great interception there by Old in the middle of the park. Here comes Gareth Bale on the right-hand side. Cuts inside to his favourite left foot. Oh, cuts it back again. Brilliant, brilliant goal here by the number 11. Gareth Bale makes it 4-0 for Old.
Yeah, O's trademark double step over drag. It's really potent, and he's been doing it since the start of FO3, and he has just been perfect with it from start to finish.
You know, is there anything that Storia can do, or is it just Old being too good for Storia here?
Well, right now at this point in game 1, with about 15 minutes to go, the best thing to hope for is for O to DC and get a free win. But besides that, he should look forward to game 2.
You know, I think there's one thing that Storia can do here, and is, you know, try to see if there's any chinks in armor, because I do not think that Old will change his formation after this. So it's up to Storia now to make use of time. I mean, the game is over, that's for sure, but at least find some chinks in the armor so that he can exploit that in the second game. And I think if Storia is experienced enough to do that, that is what he should do. And there was one chink there, because, you know, the corner kicks, it was totally unmarked, and perhaps a better header would have resulted in a consolation goal. The game is definitely over, but
it is over, which is
yeah.
why I'm very interested to see what Old is doing with this substitution. Is he going to put an outfield player in goal? No.
It looks like
He is not.
it's a straight swap. It's Drogba on for Fernando Torres. No shenanigans there. Still some, you know, level of professionalism being shown by Old. Of course, he is one of the most popular players on the server, and we can see why here, because not only does he have skills to create the goals, he also has a respect for opponents. I'm not so sure about respecting opponents here with this type of celebration, but well, he is definitely going home with this first game win with a 5-0 score at least in his favour.
What he should probably try to do is take his player and run around the goalkeeper when
Wow.
he chips him.
I mean, that was a brilliant chip. Okay, he did try that in the first half, failed terribly. Here's the second attempt, and you know, second bite of the cherry will be the sweeter ones. And yeah, maybe maybe you just no, but I don't know if Old's that type to do that. He has a fan base to take care of. Who knows what if Storia is actually one of his most favorite, you know,
That is
fervent
true.
fan as
That
well.
is true.
Yeah, just
But
loses.
Old has been very
Facebook
professional. You know what I would do, though. We all know what I would do.
You will take off your shirt
And
and
Neymar
celebrate.
would be playing as goalkeeper.
Neymar is going and then concede like 5 goals and then you got to play your way from the beginning. But I mean, a 5-goal thriller right
Yeah.
now here, it is nigh impossible for Soviet to win here. But you know, at least hey, give him credit. He's still trying his best to find a goal here, and he's getting himself in good positions. I think it's just that last shot, that last pass, he's not able to get it out of his legs for some reason. Like early on, there were 2 instances. He was one-on-one the goalkeeper, but the ball just stuck to him. Not pressing that shoot button quickly enough, I think.
Correct. I don't know what he can change, to be honest, because they're playing the same formation, and Old is just outclassing him all over the pitch. They're playing 1 CDM each, but Old is getting a lot of space in the final third. Storia, I don't know. He's playing a bit slow. He's playing a bit too safe, in my opinion. He needs to mix it up a bit in the second game.
Yeah, you know what? I kind of agree with you here, because I do not think that Storia is one of those players that have a backup plan like Hanzo or like Old have actually. You know, where if plan A fails, there I've always had plan B, and I don't think Storia has a plan B. We'll see, of course, in the next game, which is really upcoming in a few seconds here. We're going to load up game number 2 as quickly as possible. But game number 1, his final score here is 5-0 drubbing in favour of Old. So the man from Kuala Lumpur gets the first match in his favour. But, of course, being a best of 3, there's always game 2. There's even a possibility of a game number 3 if Storia manages to claw this game back here. We're going to go straight into the match. Hopefully, in my opinion, I don't think Storia changed anything because he doesn't have the ideas, but maybe, you know, we may get surprised.
You never know. I mean, if you go down 5-0, you have to do something about it.
That's right. Well, taking a look here, well, it looks like there is a chance he might go for this here. It's a 4-2-1-3 up against a 4-1-1-4. The last time we've had this type of formation battle, it is Hanzo against Kaizoku, if I'm not mistaken. Was it Hanzo that used this 4-2-1-3? I can't remember.
Perlis.
Perlis,
Yeah,
yes.
Perlis switched
Junior.
out to a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah, the 4-2-3-1, and it actually worked for one half. But
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it worked for one half, but the
Got
second.
unlucky with the shootout. But I mean,
Yes, correct.
in
But
principle,
there
this
was
is
an
the right thing.
improvement.
Correct. In principle, this is the right thing to do because you know, he has been overrun in midfield. Old has been just ruthless with his step overs, especially taking the CDM out of the game with one move and then being exposed to the back four. So this is what he needs to do. These two CDMs, they will show up his defense, but the challenge going forward is that he has to break O down with 4 attackers instead of 5.
Yep, that's right. But in my opinion, if you can't defend, there's no use attacking. Because if you're just conceding goal after goal, you know, there's no use being able to score one goal as well. Because you know you need to defend first, in my opinion. And I think I do agree with your analysis that this is the right move here by Stovia. I'm sure we will not have another 5-0 drubbing unless of course Old is that damn good. But then again, it's Old. He can turn up the heat as and when it's needed. So it's really the fate of Stovia is in his own hands. He has got to perform better than he did in the last round, and but knowing Old, I think we might be seeing a 2-game shutout from him.
I certainly think so. I think he's been by far the better player in this matchup so far. And as long as he stays confident, sticks to his high tempo passing game and step overs in and around the box, he will do well.
So guys, if you're watching this, this is the KakiBola National Championship. This is round 4 of the league stage. We are halfway through the league stage here at the moment. We're into Group D right now. The match for Group D between Old and Stovia. Old is actually in 3rd place in his Group D after his loss in his first match, and Stovia is technically 4th, but he also has 1 loss to his name, and he's only 4th because Old conceded less goals than Stovia. So for all intents and purposes, both of them are tied 3rd at the moment. But in order for you to qualify to the next one, you got to be number 1 in your group. So it's Old has got the game advantage here. He needs to have the complete win in order to get the 3 points. And well, there's your quick game right there. He's barely the 3rd man in the game, and he just waltzed his way into goal.
Yeah, once again, Stovia cannot live with the skill moves that Old is whipping out. He's dishing them out left, right, center, and just completely bamboozling Stovia's defense. Look at it here. I mean, one step over, taking left back out of the game, and then PK is just backing off, and conceding.
That type of backing off style defending will really work in a new Impact engine.
It would, but
yeah.
Right now we are on the dinosaur engine, and you have to play like a T-Rex.
But hey, who knows? Old is really good in the old engine, but transitioning to a new engine in March later on, will take a lot of work, and you could see a reversal in fortunes. Maybe Stovia could be one of the better players. Looking at how he defended, like what you see, he just kept backing off and going for the intercept instead of the tackles. He could actually be one of the better players in a new engine.
Exactly.
I would definitely see a lot of new players coming into the forefront.
We definitely will, because I feel that if you are a good player on this engine, you may struggle with the new one because passing is completely different.
It is a totally different game.
And you can cross.
Yep, oh yeah, definitely.
So maybe Horrocks will finally be able to beat me.
Oh yeah. Because at the moment, Horrocks is the only player who has had any success crossing here. He might be a beast in the upcoming engine here. But anyways, Old is still rampaging forward. I thought it was a penalty. It's a close call there, but it's actually a foul committed by Didier Drogba. Talking about that earlier on, we mentioned about the crossing. We could be that Horrocks be one of the better players, not only in Singapore but in Southeast Asia, because in Malaysia as well as Singapore, because he has so much experience with the crosses, and now with the new engine coming in where crosses are a lot more useful, a lot more better utilized. We might see players like him coming up, to be one of the star players of the server.
Possibly. I will let Mane answer this question as Horrocks' ex-teammate.
Could be, well. No, but I think, really can't wait for the new engine at least. But let's take a look at the present right now here, because there is still a tournament to be played with the old engine. This is of course I wouldn't say old, I can't really say old engine right now because it's a current engine, but there's still a tournament to be played. There's big money involved in this final tournament using the old the current FIFA 193 engine. And right now, Old is defending pretty well, and he has to defend right now here because Stovia has got a one-on-one opportunity here. Another second by the Cherry, well saved, double saved by the goalkeeper here. Stovia finally having some sort of attack going in his favor here, but now he has got to defend. That's
Terribly
almost
unlucky though. His striker ran out of stamina at the very last second.
Yeah, that's
Pushed
right.
the ball too far ahead and the keeper could wrap it up.
Ball, squeezed a little bit too close to the goalkeeper here, but here comes Storia again, and with this change in the formation, it looks a lot more stable here. He's not been conceding, a goal a minute like he was in a previous game.
He has.
It's a lot more
He's
stable.
He's looked a lot more solid defensively. I mean, one mistake on the opening attack, but you can't really do much about that. Besides that, he has been holding his own in midfield, but going forward is where I would like to see a bit more cut and thrust from Storia, a bit more tempo, a bit more incisiveness, and I just want him to be a bit more dynamic in that respect.
This one. Here comes Old with his van of dynamism, but he gets stopped right in his tracks just before Storia could go for the counter attack. The referee blows for half-time, 1-0 in favor of Old. He's the only one with a shot on target right now with 1 on his record, and that resulted in a goal. With this fabulous run here by Cristiano Ronaldo, in terms of possession, Old is dominating. I wouldn't say dominating. He's had the lion's share as well, of 60%. But the story of the day so far, it looks like Storia has definitely improved over his first game showing.
Yes, but the ball is well and truly in O's court. He can control the tempo of the game. He can frustrate Storia, and Storia has no choice but to come out and press Old, and that's where the gaps will appear, and that's where Old will dominate with his long through ball.
That is true. Well, Storia has 6 real-time minutes to get at least an equalizer back here, unless Old can conjure up another magical goal. Almost there. Old with another curling shot. Cutting in, cutting out, cutting back in again. It's the double, the triple cut insides that that he's so fond of doing, that has brought him the success so far. And here comes Old again, through ball forward, and a lot of green shirts in the middle right now. But that ball a little bit too far. I believe he was in an offside position anyways, and Storia is let off the hook yet again.
Yeah, I mean, he could have played that first time when Drogba was still onside, but he delayed it and the chance was gone. Fine margins in football, it's all about what you do in the exact moment.
Yep, you're absolutely right there. Storia, here he comes on the left-hand side, tackled yet again. He seems to be trying to dribble all on his own here. Manages to get a break on the left-hand side. Nobody inside the box right now. Oh, wonderful goal there with the toe poke inside. I thought that Fernando Torres was a little bit too far out, but he's just somehow managed to get that extra burst of energy, make that run inside, and tap in for an equalizer goal. Storia has managed to equalize it 1-1 to both sides.
Yeah, I think no one was expecting that low cross because it just is a low percent. Oh,
oh, oh my
yeah, I was
goodness.
saying it was a low percentage chance, but just marched right up the pitch and regained the lead very easily.
Old tried, to get his second goal all the way here.
Okay,
wow,
I don't know
was
if
he
Owen has been
listening
to the stream because he is running around the keeper.
He's running around the keeper, just as you mentioned that when he scored that first goal in the second game.
Shout out to Old.
You're doing pretty well right now, Old, but you gotta make sure that you don't concede any more goals, because Storia is playing a lot better now, and I won't be surprised if Storia can get an equalizer here.
Yeah, but let's go back to Storia's equalizer. That was just brilliantly played because no one was expecting it. No one in the studio was. And I mean, Old definitely wasn't expecting it. And it was a bit of Sergio Ramos going to sleep at the far post as well, but just great improvisation from Storia.
Yeah, that's right. Again, just the right amount of power in that cross, allows him to get a goal here. But now Old is just walking past defenders. Not able to walk past Maicon, of course, for Storia, as Storia manages to get a diamond pass to and out of his penalty box area. Here comes Francesco Totti down the middle. What options do we have? And Storia makes the wrong one. Passes it directly onto the head of a defender here. Old, yet again, 15 minutes of in-game time remaining, and Old has the lead here, 2-1. You do well if you can just keep the ball, but Old is looking for that third goal. On the right-hand flank is Lukasz Podolski. Here comes Francesco Totti. Will go for a shot, actually. I thought he'd go for a cross, but tries to squeeze one underneath the goalkeeper.
He could have gone for a cross. Ronaldinho at the far post, wide open. Fullback went asleep again, so he could have just dinked it over the keeper, but he's 2-1 up and he's controlling the game. He can just take a short corner, run the clock down, and get the 3 points.
Yeah, but I don't think a short corner is coming here. It is a long, deep one, a bit close to the defenders, however. Here comes Paul Pogba. He goes for a shot on his own. Wow, what a fantastic goal that is. At the edge of the box, and he drills it down the middle, just into the inside of the post there. out of reach of the goalkeeper. 3-1 for Old, and I think that is game over for Stovia at the moment.
It is game over, well and truly. Brilliant play by O. He knew exactly what he was going to do once he controlled the ball right here. Set himself up and just curled it into the far corner.
Fantastic shot. You know, normally if I was playing the game, I would make sure that Pogba is aiming like, you know, that 45-degree angle before attempting that curve shot. But he's just facing straight up and he just whacked in a shot and he proved successful here. Can Old get a fourth goal here? Tries to get one past the goalkeeper. Willing goalkeeping there by Stovia's number 1. But let's see if Stovia somehow can conjure up 2 goals. It has happened before. 2 goals in 2 minutes. I'm sure you will know that. You know, the first trip to Malaysia, I believe, you know, when there was still 3-on-3, remember?
Carnival.
Yeah, the Garina Carnival one. Yeah, that was really cool. So anything can happen here. You know, and who knows if Stovia can get a lucky break. And he has very little time remaining, only 1 minute of extra time remaining here. Stovia has got to move forward, but he's not moving forward whatsoever. I think he kind of feels like, oh, look at
comes the goalkeeper.
Here comes the goal right now. Can he score? No, he can't, even with no goalkeeper, sadly. Stovia is unable to convert there. Well, even if he converts, there's not enough time there. It's 3-1 in favor of Old. 2-0. Old takes the 3 points. The 3 points will go to Kuala Lumpur this time around here. Stovia, I'm afraid, is still stuck at last place after 2 losses for this Pahang player here. And it's a sad day for him. But still, you know, somebody has got to win, and at least Stovia has managed to get the top 16. But looking at how Stovia defends, I am quite sure actually when the new engine comes in, Stovia will perform a lot better because it looks like the new engine will suit his gameplay style more effectively.
Yeah, well, he has the concepts right, backing off, but it remains to be seen if he knows when to pull the trigger and jump in and make the tackle. So the new engine would give us a better indication.
Yep. That's right. Well, guys, we've come to the end of the stream here. After 4 groups here, we've had, you know, like 8 players that dishing it out against each other. The final one, you know, Old defeating Stovia from Pahang 2-0. And yeah, basically, you know, that's the end of the stream. We've had Admiral Access from Negeri Sembilan winning it against XGZ of Kuala Lumpur for Group A. Hanzo defeating Kaizoku in Group B. Ultra Skedah with that upset of a win over Perlis team during the reigning Malaysian number 1 champion. That was in Group C. And Old, of course, beating Stovia 2-0 in Group D. And before we end the stream for the day, head on down again to coupons.fo3.garena.com and input the code you see on your screen right now. It's only valid for about 5 minutes or so, or until the GM decides that the time is up. So make sure you go there as fast as possible. Also, log on to live.garena.com. You've only have less than 5 minutes to do so, because once the stream ends, there goes your G-View. Log on to this website, live.garena.com, register and get your free G-View counter over there. If you can keep 25 G-Views, you watch 25 different streams. It doesn't have to be FIFA Online 3s. It can be League of Legends, it can be AVA, any Garena stream. You get 1 G-View. Collect 25 of that, you can get yourself an easy 5 million EP.
5 million EP, enough to buy a shoelace on my new Kaka Plus 2. Shameless plug.
You know, yeah. Well, at least now you know you managed to convert. Upgrade one of your Kakas up there. So
yes.
well, you've had some like, and it's your card. It's not a custom account. It's your actual account. So well, it's good that you came down. It's been good to have you here, ABD.
Thank you. It's been good casting alongside you.
Yeah, and you know, we hope to see you guys soon for the next round, same time, same place next week here at live.garena.com. Have a safe weekend, guys. Happy Chinese New Year. Take a good day.
Guns out, suns out. Peace out.
恭喜恭喜，红包拿来。